Welcome to the MCG as the crowd pours in again for two of the heavyweights of the competition. Geelong are certainly still there, top of the table, undefeated, while for Collingwood, just battling a bit, and after their loss to Fremantle last week, Nathan Buckley more seething than usual. Can they react tonight against the Cats, who they've beaten in the last two occasions they've met? Geelong's last win, a big one, Grand Final Day 2011. Steve Johnson out of the Geelong side, but Luke Ball back in the Collingwood side for the first time since round 3 last year. Great to have your company on Grandstand around Australia. Dan Lonigan, Drew Morfitt, Mark McClure and Lindsay Gilby. Also tonight we'll keep you updated with a match involving two other finals aspirants, Fremantle and Sydney, at the SCG. As we welcome our team, Drew, welcome. Great to have you with us.
Evening, Dan. Yes, magnificent night at the MCG, and since 2007, these two teams, when they've played at the G, have averaged crowds of 83,000. Well, there's a long way to go to get to that tonight. There are people sitting up in the last row, but they're going to have to come in late. They're filing into the aisles as we speak, but it's not going to be the 83,000, I don't think.
No, but it'll still be a good crowd, I would have thought, for the big match between the Pies and the Cats, who, as we mentioned, are going beautifully at the moment. Number of changes to their premiership team of 2 years ago, and Collingwood as well, but Collingwood more by injury, Geelong by good management. Mark McClure, welcome, Sellers.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
Going well.
You get over that little game at the Gold Coast a minute ago?
I'm over it, yeah. It'll be an interesting week.
Yeah, very
Heat
interesting
in the kitchen,
week.
I would have thought.
Yeah, Brendan McCartney's going to be under some pressure, finally. One of 19 wins in his period of time. Only had one win in 19 games. So I think it's time that they start to question. It's not just him, it's the senior players as well.
Absolutely.
It's the whole football club as a whole, and that's not good enough in this competition for anybody. So that's another day to talk about. But this is a good game. This is one we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to the Collingwood side standing up. Where are they at? I don't understand that. I don't know exactly where they stand. And they're just about to come out now onto the ground to a cheer. And I don't know if, as you said, Drew, I don't know if they're going to fill the 83, but I certainly reckon they'll get 65 to 70 at some stage, starting to fill out. The car parks are full or filling up, and it's an interesting night. Where are these blokes at? Tell me, what did they bring Quinton Lynch in for?
Oh, I would think so.
Welcome, Lindsay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I really think that to take the pressure off Travis Cloke, I think it's allowed him to stay closer to goal. I think with Lee Brown, probably when they were playing their best, Travis Cloke was deep in their forward line. I think they recruited him maybe to take over that role. He hasn't got on the scoreboard as much as probably what he should for a key forward, but I think Travis Cloke's probably benefited from him being there.
He's kicked 3 goals, and he's supposed to be a goal kicker. His kicking's poor. He hasn't played in the forward line much. He's been really around the ground a bit. The problem with them is their defence. The Collingwood defence is very, very poor. And they're let down by their midfield and their forward line, not keeping the ball in. And every defence, if you have that area, gets destroyed, Lindsay.
I'd agree. The thing I watched Carlton a few weeks ago chop them up with their pace. They haven't got a very good... they're not very quick down there. I think O'Brien might start down there just to add that little bit of pace. But I think Heath Shaw going out, even though he's not overly quick, but he just adds that little bit of X factor, a little bit of run. But Reed's very good, but only in a straight line. His agility's okay, but a really good smart forward can get him. I think Brown, he's good at the start getting off his opponents, but he's another guy who's probably on railroads. And then there's Jordan Russell. He's probably the slowest player down there. Then Maxwell and young Marley Williams. I think he'll be really important tonight just to give a little bit of run off the half-back line.
They haven't been really tough around through the middle either, and Luke Ball will bring a bit back in with that.
Yeah, you're right. It's good to see him back playing after a good year out of the game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to go, how he can adjust to the pace of the game. I think the pace of the game's gone up another level from last year, just from watching up here, but really looking forward to this matchup. I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout in the middle, but something I'm really looking forward to.
Dan, you came up with a good stat about 20 minutes ago when we were watching the game from the Gold Coast, that if Collingwood lose tonight, the Suns will be ahead of Collingwood on the ladder.
That's right.
That is incredible.
Who would have thought that? The Suns are certainly coming. They've beaten the teams they probably should beat now, below them. Also St Kilda as well, which was a great win at the start. But look, it is a massive game for Collingwood. It would just show that the game's evolving.
Oh, it is. And one thing about it, it's going to test their depth. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking at Seedsman. Young Ben Kennedy's going to start as the sub, but he showed a lot of promise. I think McCaffrey coming in. Hopefully he can add a little bit to him as well. But the one thing I am worried about is Collingwood's pace. I think Geelong just got outstanding pace through the midfield, and if I was Collingwood, even though they don't have a run with player, they could at least try put someone on Motlop. I wouldn't bother tagging Selwood. Motlop's the key for the Cats.
The other thing about Collingwood is their percentage is pathetic. When they win narrowly, and when they lose big. Their percentage is 95%. So on the league ladder, for wins and losses, they're 8th on the ladder coming into this round, but on the percentage ladder, they're 13th.
Yeah, their defence is pathetic, Drew. They cannot hold the side back, and they just trounce them when they come through. It's really set up because their forward line can't keep the ball in. They used to have really good, fast, small forwards who kept the ball inside their forward line. They wouldn't let it out. They'd go wide. They'd defend through the boundaries in that area. And what's happened is Nathan Buckley's gone through the middle of the ground, and the turnover thing is killing them. And if they go through the middle of the ground again today against Geelong Football Club, that is their bread and butter. They love it. And I read in the paper today, and I've watched them a bit too, with David King wrote an article about it, and I've been watching him for some time, and we've talked about it as well, is that they actually set up for you to make a mistake, and then they slingshot back through the middle of the ground with pace and skill. And they don't miss. Their skill level's unbelievable. What they look at, and their rebound slingshot football is the best in the competition by a long, long way. They trust each other enormously. And if you have a look at their side down back, Lonergan sometimes goes forward, kicked goals, kicked 2 last week. Harry Taylor's kicked 9 goals, in 7 games or something.
He marks like a key forward.
Well, because they allow someone to go up and take a mark in forward line, and all of a sudden you've got Hawkins and Podsiadly down there as well, and the rest are surrounded by pace, enormous pace. And the one with the most is Stephen Motlop, who is an outstanding player. Stevie J's not there, and the fun factor's gone out of the game a tad for me with Stevie not being around, because he's got so much skill and flair. His flair is incredible. And I think he just dreams it up as he goes along, and I love that. He's a free-flowing player.
So how did Collingwood stitch him up twice last year?
That's amazing, and I think they're a different side to what they were last year. There was no Dwyer, there was no Elliott last year. McCaffrey wasn't there. There's 3 different players there. Quinton Lynch wasn't there at all. Luke Ball wasn't there. Marley Williams wasn't there. Jordan Russell wasn't there. That's a different side. Completely different side. Jared Witts wasn't there. Josh Thomas wasn't there. Kennedy. They are in a transition period, I would think, of changing over from a side who's played in a couple of grand finals in a row to a side who are really battling to find their feet in a game that's changed. And the speed of the game has changed. And you'll see tonight, you watch them, Geelong just play a pure, different style of football to most others.
How patient will Eddie be? We know how much he loves Nathan Buckley. Wouldn't allow him to go to another club to learn the trade, so he had to endure a cold war with Mick Malthouse and Nathan Buckley. Well, Buckley had 2 years there before he took over as senior coach.
Well, here's his love child. There is love that is stronger than Romeo and Juliet here. And
plenty of families have breakups.
And they're massive when they do. And I'm not predicting it this week, but I think in the near future, there could be a little bit of rumblings around the camp, because Eduardo likes to win.
He does. Now, Josh McDermott is riding the boundary for us tonight. Welcome, Josh.
Good evening. Thanks very much, Dan. Yeah, it's a little bit cold down here and a slight breeze, but otherwise conditions are pretty good. The crowd's starting to build up. We expect between 60 and 70 at least tonight for this clash between 2 big sides. I can tell you for the subs, Ben Kennedy will start as a sub for Collingwood. Josh Hunt, in his first game back for the Cats this year, he'll start as a sub for them.
Just getting him used to the tempo again, Josh Hunt. I've just seen a couple of their newer players, Geelong. Jordan Schroeder in his 3rd game, and Jackson Thurlow in his 2nd game. They don't worry, Lindsay, about athletes, rangy athletes. They just recruit footballers who are built like the proverbial Geelong.
And they are big-bodied recruits, which is the Geelong model.
It is. Here's Drew Morphin on Grandstand AFL. It's the Pies and the Cats.
What a game it should be. We get underway with a bounce. Straight up in the air it goes. Jolly wins the hit out. It's rowed by Swan. He hooks the ball across his body out towards the Great Southern Stand wing. Gains a bit of territory. Blair gets after the ball. Paddles it. Receives it back. Luke Ball got a touch in there in his first game back. Sensational. Kick by Blair up towards the 50. It pitches on the turf. Geelong have it. The hand pass comes back out. And it's grabbed here by Dwyer. And he kicks to the forward line, but Lonergan's back there to take the mark. Fires away a little hand pass to Bartel. Poor handball, and it's chopped off and goaled by Sidebottom. Sidebottom in front, 10 metres out. Jimmy Bartel, the howler of his career.
Well, they set up perfectly down back to cut off that quick kick in and the slingshot out, but Jimmy Bartel messed it up with just a poor skill error. And that's unheard of from him. He's a very, very good player.
He won't get a stat for this, but I was watching Jordan Russell. He pushed down as a defender, got the outside of his opponent. That's why Bartel had to create something out of nothing, and I'd give that down to Jordan Russell in good defence.
Yeah, I'd give that down to Jimmy Bartel for the poor handball.
That too.
He's much maligned, Jordan Russell, so the 1%er. Yes, you're right, Drew. I've never seen Jimmy Bartel commit too many howls on a footy field. His long career. West the tap for the Cats. Out of the middle. Good tackling on Selwood, who lost control of it. Just free to Pendlebury. Collingwood with the appetite early on. Gives it the ball. That'll gladden Collingwood's supporters as they kick towards half-forward ball. But good play by Taylor to tap it down to Guthrie. Bartel, another fumble. Where are you, Jimmy? Sidebottom comes the other way, and then Bartel lays the tackle on the MCC members' side. Little Elliott's in there for the Pies. Comes out to Motlop. He's dispossessed of the football. Blair put to the turf. Gets the free kick for a shove in the back. Umpires tonight, Chamberlain, McInerney and Mollison.
And that was Jimmy again. Jimmy pushed him in the back.
He's made 3 howlers. Blair goes the short pass. Comes up wide, and McCaffer takes the mark. At left half forward, about 70 metres from goal. Collingwood going to the punt road end in the first quarter. Further short pass, Pendlebury. Fancy still too far out to score, but he runs around. The man on the mark was shepherded by Jolly. And the kick goes to the goal square. There's no mark, and it is knocked through in defence. Good defence by Enright to rush the behind. So Collingwood look as though they've come to play tonight. It's 1-1-0.
And Fremantle likewise, 1-1-0 against Sydney. Back into play. Clearing kick finds Duncan half back. Great Southern stand side. Looking to kick towards the wing. Kicks it low towards the contest. And Taylor takes the mark. What a wonderful player he's become. The 2010 All-Australian. Peers inboard and has a player running for him. Taking it on the bounce, Enright. Feeds over the top now to his great mate Corey. Another hand pass. Stokes at half forward. Kicks inside 50. Looking for someone to mark. Blitzabs. Collingwood's defence was good. Knocking it out of bounds. In the forward pocket at the city end. Geelong into attack for the first time.
Marley Williams. Here's the throw in. West over the top. Works it down to Stokes, who pings towards goal. And it pitches and bounces into the behind post. So we'll get another throw in here on the forward line for the Cats, who are yet to score in the opening 3.5 minutes. Jolly against West. West works to the front, takes it out of the ruck and goes for goal and kicks a beauty. Well, you take a risk taking clean possession out of the ruck, but he was just steaming towards goal, and home it went. Collingwood 1-1, Geelong a goal.
I think it's smart if you can take it. Obviously, they're going to be onto you, the umpires, if you drop the ball, but not going to give. Jolly was just probably looking for too much body there, and that little bit of pace that West got off. That's all he needed to finish with a goal. Great play.
His 49th career game, Trent West, been around a while.
Premiership player.
He is, that's right. Starting to develop now, and I think the injuries to their ruckman, the retirement of Ottens, has been a godsend for him. Bounce in the middle, and he watches Jolly, and neither get their hands on the footy. It falls to Jolly in the end inside the circles. Cats try and clear, unable to. The big body of Thurlow in his second game, but it spills out now to Dwyer of the Pies. Handball to Maxwell. He's well tackled from behind after getting around one opponent, and Smiths with the free kick in the middle for the Cats. It's slow then, Maxwell. Should have dished it off. Kicks inside 50. Seedsman, no, camp back. Dropped what he probably should have taken. Whacked away by Caddy for the Cats. Slips to Corey from the Christensen hand pass. Down to Duncan. Kick smothered. Comes out the side bottom. Handball to Russell. Had it run down. Picked up by Smith, who loves a goal. Wants to take on Seedsman. Got well tackled. May have got a little kick in. That's why the umpire didn't give a free kick against him. Pendlebury receives a hand pass, delivers nicely, and Collingwood an opportunity with side bottom on the MCC members' wing.
He kicks over the wing and Cloak takes the mark a mile up the ground. Kick by Cloak to centre half forward. Lynch on the lead. Selwood in front. He was potentially going to be knocked into Kingdom Come, but he got his hand to the ball and worked it across to Taylor. Kick straight up the ground. Mark chopped off by Reid for Collingwood. Long kick back to the forward line. Cloak's got back there. It hits the deck. Mackie grabs it. Cloak lays a great tackle. The umpire says no prior opportunity. And in comes Razor Ray to throw the ball in the air 35 metres from goal.
The heat's in the kitchen early. A chance for the Pies. Geelong though win possession. Well tackled was Duncan. See, the tackling is unbelievable. Here's the Bartel, who hasn't done anything good yet. He gets tackled again, taken over the boundary.
She's a hot contest, this.
Yeah,
very
sure
hot. You get the ball, get rid of it really quickly, or else you get smashed, and that's what's happening.
Front of the northern stand, Collingwood by a point, 1-1-7, Geelong a goal. Magpies into attack at the punt road end. Jolly two hands it down. Pendlebury may have been manhandled. At ground level, working hard, Hall and Smith, and then Maxwell lays the tackle.
Who you mentioned, Dan, I think he's got the job on Pendlebury tonight, so a big job for Hall and Smith.
Comes out now to Pendlebury, gets around Hall and Smith, dances, steadies, 30 out. You've got to get on him, George, because he'll kick magnificent goals like that. He danced his way, tiptoeing through the tulips, and the Pies have a couple. 2-1-13 Geelong, one straight six. Wonderful goal from the stoppage from Scott Pendlebury.
Well, that's footy smarts, just using his nous, just didn't panic. That's what he didn't do. He just he played it really smart, dodged a few players, and more importantly finished with a goal. So, as I mentioned, Hall and Smith's got a big job on him tonight.
Oh, that was his basketball background. He was just aware of what was going on around him in the paint, and he had the shot. 13-6. Pies in front. Cats hot favourites tonight. Unbeaten top of the ladder. There's the bounce. Jolly wins. Ball comes down to Thomas. Works the ball across to McCaffer. Bouncing ball taken by Cracker. Gets his hand pass back. Elliott runs into trouble. It comes back to Elliott. He's 45 out. Steers a pass low to Swan. He drops the mark, but he butters up. He's taken to ground by Bartel. And Geelong come out with the ball. Hand pass out the back door to Taylor. He goes wide. Podgiadli well up the ground. Brown with him. Brown flips the ball out. Is it a throw? Play on, says the umpy. Comes further back to Reid. His kick towards half forward. Blair, good hands. Little man over his head. Bartel couldn't close him down. Kick by Blair. Cloak manhandled before the ball got there. And it's knocked to the boundary line. It'll be a throw in. Collingwood fans right on the scene screaming blue murder.
Bartel just looks about 10% off his actual normal game tonight.
Boundary throw in, Blitzavs. He almost trips into Jolly. It's rowed by Thomas to Dwyer. Hard on the boundary. No daylight. Sandal Dwyer slots an absolute beauty. Collingwood on fire. 3-1-19. Geelong one straight six on Grandstand AFL at the 9-minute mark.
Been a revelation this year, Sam Dwyer. I think it's one thing that he's actually added to Collingwood's midfield is a bit of extra pace. Swan's very explosive. He just goes all day. He's got a big tank and he's getting on the scoreboard.
Dwyer pays the penalty for kicking a goal straight to the bench. 3-1 to a goal. Collingwood storming early. Christensen comes out.
Not great starters though, the Cats, Phil.
No, you're never far enough ahead of Geelong. They seem to be able to run you down no matter how far out in front you get. From the bounce in the middle, indeterminate, comes to Selwood though, fires out a hand pass to Stokes. Here's pass towards the 50. Podgiadli marks and works off his opponent, goes goalwards and sprays it out of bounds. And that's to the Collingwood Social Club end at the city end of the ground, and did they love that one?
Almost as much as kicking a goal at the punt road end. Good start by Freo, leading Sydney by 8 points. O'Brien will receive a hand pass. Back pocket outer side. Chips in short to Maxwell. Marking on defensive 50. Right half back. Great Southern stand side. Highs away nicely. Leading by 13 points. Probes a kick towards the wing. Blitzavs in the middle. Knocks it to ground. Rode by Selwood. Got tackled. Handballs to Hall and Smith. Step inside and he got claimed. Guthrie got a hand pass out but turned over by Cracker of Collingwood. Handballs now in the direction of Blair. Kicks inside 50. Cloak knocks away from Lonergan. Recovers well. Crackett's 20 out. Another one. Collingwood champagne footy. 4-1-25. Geelong left in their wake. One straight 6. 11 travelled.
Well, we thought that what are they going to do tonight, Collingwood? Where are they at? Well, we know where we're at now. They're hard at it. Their tackle count's huge. Their run and receive is big. Their actual movement around the ground is just sensational. They've got the cats off the bit at the moment. They are at 6s and 7s. I know they're really skillful, but they are not winning the contest. And one of the things the cats do is they don't really rate the contest at this stage, or the ball ups or boundary throws. They want to start now because they're getting killed. Absolutely destroyed at this stage. 25-6. Very good start by the Pies.
Possessions 40-24. Inside 50s 7-3. Bounce in the middle goes slightly Geelong's way. But Collingwood have it again. McCaffer, a little hand pass to Harry O'Brien. He loses it. Corey up to Blitzabs. He works it on. Contest put on by Pendlebury with Motlop. Pendlebury beats him. They're winning all over the ground. Great stuff, Scott Pendlebury. He's kicked towards half forward, but an excellent mark taken by Enright, streaming up the ground and marking near the back edge of the centre square. He plays on well forward of the mark, and the Collingwood fans not happy. He kicks to full forward, and Hawkins juggles and marks right in front. 35 out. Listen to the Collingwood fans.
It's a super mark. One hand up, bang, just knocked it forward. It was a very, very classy mark, and a good play on. That's the key. When you're in trouble, you know what you do? You attack. You don't defend, you attack. You keep attacking, and Joel Corey, that's exactly what he did. Pushed it forward as quick as he could.
They thought he should have gone back behind the mark, but here it is at the other end of the ground. Hawkins a shot for goal. He'll be kicking from about 40, that's all. City end. Kicks the goal. As good forwards should. But Collingwood lead 4-1 to 2 goals.
Well, Geelong defenders, they love to really zone off their opponents, so that's what they really rely on. They rely on that third man in. And watching Jimmy Bartel as well, what I found tonight, he's actually human. He's made a couple of mistakes, and he's a guy who really relies on midfield pressure. That's what the Cats are big on, midfield pressure to get the ball high. So Harry Taylor and guys like that can come off their men, Enright, they can actually catch the ball as a defender.
You've got those 3 great players down on the back line now in Bartel, Enright and Corey, but they're under siege early, the Cats. Bounce in the middle. And this timing he's leap west. Swan cannons into an opponent in Corey, who takes the free kick and feeds a hand pass off to Mackie in the middle. Kicks Geelong inside 50. O'Brien's in front. Drop what he might have taken, what he definitely should have taken. Slips to the Magpies inside bottom. We've got the hand pass from Brown and then to O'Brien, who kicks around the Great Southern stand side. And the mark taken by Cloak is a long way from home, was shoved forward. Could have nearly got 50. Kicks towards half forward. Lynch had it slapped away. In front, Geelong with numbers. Mackie to Pontiadley. Not a great kick. Off hands. Slips to Lynch. Blair at ground level. Handballs to side bottom on the Great Southern stand side. Pokes to half forward. Lynch dropped what he should have taken. Then he runs into Cracker. They want it so much.
No, he tackled him.
Handballs out in the direction as Collingwood kick towards Swan. Swan near the goal square. Got swamped. Can he get boot to ball? No, he can't. He's held up. There'll be a bounce, I think. The umpire taking a long, long time, and he'll eventually put it down.
Lynch definitely tackled his own teammate.
Thrown up. Jolly wins the hit out. But it comes to West, his opponent in the ruck. His kick across in front of goal. It's marked by Russell. He plays on and kicks towards goal. It pitches in the goal square and hits the goalpost for a behind. But Geelong's attempt to clear the ball, it was a sort of running...
Jimmy Bartel again.
Yeah, it was Bartel.
Bartel with a fly hack at the ball,
and he's
which
just
he missed.
Straight to someone else.
He's having the worst quarter of his life as he kicks it straight on the chest of Nathan Brown, who on the left bangs along the full forward. Swan up, can't mark it. At ground level, rowed by Blair. Tackled, handballs to Cracker. He's dangerous. Hooks it with not enough carry, and Bartel takes the mark.
Take your time, Jimmy.
Trying to make amends at the top of the goal square.
Get a feel
Geelong
of the ball.
Under siege. Punt road in short to Lonergan, who was nearly creeping over the mark, opposed to Swan. He's in the back pocket. He'll drive the Cats to the MCC members' side. Reed up too early. Waiting down was Caddy. He got the hand pass out. Kicked by Duncan in the direction of Schroeder, who does well. Hands and knees, hand pass to Holland Smith. Terrible bounce for Corey. Motlop was with him. Turnover for Collingwood. Seaman a hand pass towards side bottom, and now Pendlebury. They're on the way out with some luck, the Pies.
But the kick not good. Chopped off by Mackie at centre wing. He kicks to half forward. Motlop gathers a loose ball. Dashes towards goal. Motlop shoots and goals. Class rises to the top. The Cats 3 straight. The Pies 4-2.
Well, we spoke about him in the pre-game. Motlop, I think, we spoke about Joel Selwood's the one who's been tagged a lot this year for Geelong. But if I was the opposition, I'd go straight to Motlop. He carries the ball. He's a 70, 80 metre player. Carries at 20, kicks at 60. He finishes so well. He's so quick. He's calm. He's a bit like Stevie J, but a quicker version. Not on his calibre just yet, getting there. But his work rate and his fitness is actually what's elevated him to another level this year.
Yeah, Steve Johnson out tonight. Josh Caddy coming in that late change for the Cats. Bounce in the middle. West, nice punch. Corey roving well. A handball to Stokes, who threads it wide to Selwood. Shows his opponent some candy. Kicks inside 50. Almost a mark to the Cats. G. Hawkins was mid at ground level. Rode by the dangerous Motlop. Can't get boot to ball. Collingwood's pressure good. Nathan Brown got the hand pass out to Williams. Williams who switches play to the MCC member side. Dwyer tracks it eventually. He's hemmed in. Good play by the big body Josh Caddy. Handballs now to Pendlebury, hard on the boundary. Caddy's still with him. Then he handballs to Dwyer, gives him run on the inside, and away he goes for the Pies with a couple of bounces.
He's taken to the fairway and then kicks short of half forward. Easy mark taken by Enright. Inside the centre square for the Cats. Pokes the short pass to his mate Corey on centre wing near the logo. 26-18, Collingwood in front. They made a great start. Pass out wide to Christensen. He wobbles the ball down towards half forward. It pitches just inside the boundary line and takes a little bit on off break, and out it goes for a throw in.
Looks like McCaffrey's gone to Selwood, so he's had a few run with rolls at the moment, so it'll be a good matchup for him.
Geelong making a bit of a comeback, but by gee, Collingwood have thrown everything at him in this first quarter. West wins the hit out, comes to Pendlebury, who's been absolutely glorious. His hand pass goes to O'Brien. He's kicked to half forward. Knocked on in the path of Swan. Nobody in front of him. He gathers 55 out. Swan goes for the pass or the shot. He went for the score. Lynch was there near the goal square, and Swan's kick was astray and brings up a minor score. He's had a pretty ordinary start, Dane Swan, just 3 touches.
I wonder whether he was sort of going for both, 50-50. Steered the kick. Podsiadly marks in short to Enright. Wonder if he stepped off his line. Now he does. Invited to play on and delivers across the goal face to Guthrie in the back pocket on the members' wing, and now Bartel takes a clean possession at half back. It shouldn't be too harsh. You can make the occasional mistake. Kicks to the wing and Schroeder takes the screamer over Luke Ball. Welcome back, Luke. Handballs to Mackie. Mackie kicks to half forward and Hawkins marks. Hawkins now gets the kick partially smothered. Ricochets to Reed, his opponent. Handballs to Dwyer, has been busy early for the Pies. Kicks to the wing. Blair attacks it hard and takes the mark. Handballs to O'Brien, who loves to provide run, as does Cracker. Back to O'Brien through the middle. Kicks Collingwood inside 50. That's a great kick. And on the end of it, 2 loose Geelong. And a chance to have a shot at goal is Elliott. Well, with the tattooed sleeve at left half forward.
Well, they're already in attack mode, Geelong. Tom Hawkins just didn't get it back far enough off the mark. That's what's brought him undone. As a defender, very, very hard to defend.
That's what O'Brien's good at. Maybe one-on-one defending. Not one of his strong points, but running off half-back. 10 goals this year, Elliott. Left half forward. Collingwood have started brightly. And they produce their 5th goal to increase the margin now to 15 points. They're 5-3-33 on Grandstand AFL. The Cats, 3 straight 18, 20 minutes played. And Sydney are 3 straight 18, trailing the Dockers in Sydney, 3-4-22.
They've been really impressive. 8 shots to goal to 3. They've just moved the ball really well. Their play on, their movement of the ball, their rush at the ball, their helter-skelter play. It's just been fantastic. They have been outstanding. And still the Cats have kicked 3 goals against them. They look like they're all over them, but the skill of the Cats allows them to do so. But Good quarter by the Pies. Really good quarter.
Yep, a lot of players out of Collingwood's side, you would say, in their best 22. And Cats as well. Steve Johnson, a late withdrawal tonight. Bounce in the middle. Comes to Witts. His kick partly smothered, but out of the middle. The kick up the ground by Sinclair, up towards the 50, but the Cats have it. Across the ground comes Stokes. Mark's taken by Enright. Inside defensive 50. Up the corridor, potentially dangerous, especially when Ball marks. Ball kicks back to centre half forward. Jolly is there, gets a fingernail to it. It gets goalwards. Jolly follows up. Did he get a push in the back?
Free kick.
He's given away the free kick, and it's Geelong's free kick in the last line. They can breathe a sigh of relief. And Cloak arguing with the umpire, saying, "What the hell did you penalise me for?"
And Dan's half brother.
There are lots of Lonigans around the place.
Yeah, it's 4 stars in the game, as my little one would say, Drew. Christensen's kick was off the outside of the foot, and he stubbed his toe in the grass. Rolls to O'Brien and Pendlebury. Another turnover to Lynch, receiving a hand pass for the Pies. Crack has been lively. Right half forward. Great Southern stand side. Inside 50. Podsiadly crashes the pack and punches to ground. Shark to ground level by Christensen. A handball to Motlop and now Stokes. Inside defensive 50. Little pass to Bartel. If that went 15, I'm a monkey's uncle. It's claimed. Bartel spreads it wide. Stokes on the burst, having a great season, averaging 26 possessions a match. And he kicks down the line, and leading for him is the skipper, Joel Selwood, still at half-back. Looking to slow it down, the Cats. They trail by 15 points. Another tardy opening turn by them. And he kicks further down the line to the late replacement Caddy. Caddy will handball to Selwood. Selwood now looking to steer into Enright. He stood tall. He allowed O'Brien to chip in. Collingwood on the burst. Mark taken by Blair. It's an open forward line. He marks front edge centre square. He'll play on quickly. Took a long time as players get back. Guthrie's there for Geelong. Makes the spoil on Elliott. Goes to the boundary. Lynch goes through his legs. And Guthrie shunts it over the boundary.
That's over the line on full.
It actually came off Guthrie's leg out on the full. And so it's going to be a free kick to Jolly, deep in the forward pocket. He runs around to improve the angle, hooks back towards goal and misses near side for a minor score.
A bit too cute at the moment, Geelong. I think they're just biting off a bit more than they can chew. They've just got to wrestle a little bit of the ascendancy back here.
That's how they play, though.
Yep.
Bartel's kick in outside the 50. Gathered by Taylor. He kicks over the wing. O'Brien and Smets. Harry's had some good dashes tonight. Smets gets him close to the boundary line. Carried him forward. The umpire said, well, the ball's finished up out of bounds. Give it to the boundary umpire so he can throw it in. Collingwood 5-4. Outplaying the Cats, who are 3 goals.
Smets in a dream team this week. Not coaching well. He's only had 1 possession so far as Big Witts is on, and he taps it down in his second game for Collingwood. Swan took it. Got collared immediately. It's thrown up. Half-forward flank. Great Southern stand side. Rode by Stokes. Got the hand pass out to Selwood. Tried to bullock his way through tackles. Handball it inside, attacking 50, but Brown grabs for Collingwood. On the dash, a handball to Swan. Back to Brown. He slides on it. He was shoved in the back. Is he going to get a free kick?
He sure is.
And he will. He's at half-back as he handballs back to Swan. Great Southern stand side floating ball. Brilliantly picked up with his bootlaces by Cloak. He's got a player on his own. It's Jolly. Takes the mark.
Massive mistake by Pods. He rushed to the contest and let Jolly go back on his own. And all of a sudden it bounced and they picked it up cleanly. He's 50 yards or 50 metres free on his own inside 50. Wow.
It's happened a couple of times, hasn't it, where they've had players inside 50, Lindsay, the Pies.
Yeah, but understanding your position is the key. And Pods is a forward. And he attacked the ball instead of staying with his man.
Slightly right of centre half forward, 40 metres out. Darren Jolly is a goal kicker, but he hits the inside of the left goal post at the punt road end. And on Grandstand AFL, the Pies should be further in front. It's 10 scoring shots to 3, 5-5, 35 to 3 straight, 18.
And that could hurt him, Dan.
Absolutely.
Jolly's missed twice, 2 behinds in the opening term. Bartel has it in the back pocket. Kicks outside the 50. Lynch in front. Can't take the mark. It comes to Enright. His hand passes Christensen, but he's dispossessed. The hand pass from Pendlebury to Swan. He hooks the ball into Ball. Can't take the mark. Cracker's there as well. Ball tries to retrieve it at ground level. Swamped The umpire will throw it up just 30 metres out from goal.
The forward pressure's been really, really good, Collingwood. They're putting Geelong under a lot of pressure.
Great to see Luke Ball back. Christensen darts through the pack. Goes without it. Pendlebury snaps. A good shepherd by Cloak and Pendlebury. Oh, it was touched right on the line. So Collingwood having by far the better of the play, and they should be a mile in front. It's 5-6 to 3 goals.
Bartel dabs in short to Podsiadly in the back pocket on the outer side. Kicks towards Taylor, who's a big mark. Can't mark, but he brings it to ground level, and it's rode by the biggest man out there, Blitzstabs. Handballs inside the Stokes. Kicks the Cats towards half forward. Hawkins, good use of the body. Brought it to ground. He gets a free kick against Brown. Hawkins in the middle, attacking side centre square to the city end, inside 50. O'Brien gets back and takes a good mark as the ball is heading in the cell with Macappa direction, and O'Brien camped himself in front of them just outside the defensive goal square and takes a face-saving mark for the Pies, who lead by 18.
Gets the kick outside the 50. Dwyer, good use of the body, but then couldn't take the mark. It spills to Selwood. Mackey cruising past, receives, hand pass out wide. Schroeder gets to about 30 and goes for goal and misses to the right-hand side. Gilt-edged opportunity for Jordan Schroeder in just his third game to kick a goal. But are behind. Their first miss, the Cats are 3-1, trailing the Pies 5-6.
They see him as a potential inside midfielder with that big body of his down the track. Schroeder from that fertile breeding ground, the quarter cannons. Back into play and flying high and taking a mark is Elliott. Right half back, great southern stand side for the Pies. Kicks to the wing. Lynch is there, almost had the mark, and then he grapples with Guthrie when the ball hits the ground. Ball tried to get a couple of metres. Advantage for Collingwood with a squeezing kick through traffic. Side bottom helping him out for Collingwood as well. The ball's in dispute on the wing on the outer side, and in the end it'll be bounced with Collingwood on top of the Cats, leading by 17 points, and we've played 27 minutes in the opening term.
Elliott doesn't much like being on the ground, does he? He spends a lot of his career in the air. Ball's hit out wide towards the wing, gathered by Swan. His hand pass is good for Thomas, who kicks towards the 50. Gets past Cloak, but there's interference. Free kick to Cloak. About 49 metres out against Lonergan.
He's claiming that it's in the side. Oh.
No, he shoved him.
Yeah, but it was only a three-quarter shove, Dan.
It's in the side, Dan.
It wasn't a fully extended.
Oh, that's the thing. He didn't have. He had the bent arm. That's
so
actually allowed.
Geese would have allowed that, wouldn't he?
No one knows, mate.
Yeah,
Cloak
you're right.
for goal from 51. It's right. He misses to the near side. Pies squandering opportunities. They're 5-7 to Geelong, 3-1 at the 28-minute mark of the opening term.
Paul kicking again, Enright to himself, the four-time All-Australian down the middle for Geelong towards the circles. West there, clears in Podsiadly, takes a great mark, looks to play on, nearly stumbles, gets around his opponent eventually, inside 50. O'Brien lays a great ball, picked up by Schroeder. Oh, he went without it, he was heading towards goals. Just outside the goal square at the City end, O'Brien does well to mop up for the Pies, handballs to Thomas. Kicks dangerously towards Swan, but eventually falls to him. Does well to throw it on the boot. Switching play to the MCC member side. Contest between Christensen and Dwyer. The latter Dwyer wins. Hand pass into play. Running onto it now, side bottom. Well tackled by Smets. Handball's back to Blair. As the siren sounds to end the opening term. A term dominated by the Pies, who've won their last two against the Cats. 5-7-37, 12 scoring shots to 4. There should be 5 or 6 goals in front, as we've mentioned throughout that first term. But they lead by 18 points, 5-7-37 to 3-1-19. Goals to Cracker, Pendlebury, Elliott, Sidebottom and Dwyer. And for Geelong, goals to West, Hawkins and Stephen Motlop. And quarter time it was at the SCG. Fremantle led Sydney 3-5, 23 to 3 straight 18. They've just started the second quarter. The Dockers are 3-6, 24. The Swans 3 straight 18. This is Grandstand AFL on ABC Local Radio, Grandstand Digital, News Radio and streaming at afl.com.au. Quarter time at the MCG with Dan Lonergan, Drew Morford, Mark McClure, Lindsay Gilby and Josh McDermott riding the boundary, and the Pies blowing the Cats away but not putting it on the scoreboard, which is often the case with Collingwood. The conversion letting them down. 5-7-37. Geelong undefeated so far, 3-1-19. And at the SCG, Fremantle 3-6-24, leading the Swans 3 straight 18. Lindsay and Mark on Grandstand AFL.
Well, it's pressure quarter. Talk about that. That was back to the Collingwood of 2010. It was really, really good, and probably haven't got the reward for the effort that they actually deserve. 5 goals, 7:37 plays, 3 goals, 1:19, and their pressure, they're manic around the footy. Blair it looks like he was one of those real crucial playmakers in 2010 when they were at their best with forward pressure. They had Didak in the side they had pace in that forward line. I think they're a little bit having a look at it actually. Steele Sidebottom's actually throwing his guts up out on the ground now. Might have copped one in the stomach, but just that pressure that they've got referred back to. I think Geelong are trying to create things because of that Collingwood pressure, and but obviously we never write off Geelong. They're a quality side, but really, really looking forward to the rest of this game. It's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, I love the way they started. They were harder. They knew they were up against an opposition that I think was better than them. And they think were better than them. But they didn't allow them to have the ball at the start. They just completely destroyed them. And Jimmy Bartell gave them a couple early. He fumbled and made mistakes, turnover goals straight away to them. Their ball movement was sensational from defence to forward line. They were, as you said, manic. They were hard at it. They ran hard. They busted their lung to actually just get to the next contest and in numbers. And I reckon that was really what the difference in the side was. They made a lot of mistakes, but they're good players. Harry O'Brien, I thought that's the best quarter I've seen Harry O'Brien play for 4 years. Seriously,
you get on his back.
Yeah, well, and there's a reason for it, Drew. And today I can't because he was sensational. He backed back into packs. He took marks. He put himself in line with the ball. I thought it was terrific. I thought Blair, Swan, and Sidebottom were great, but Pendlebury was super through the middle of the ground. The Cats are still not far away when you look at what they've done there. They've got Motlop and Selwood and Christensen and Stokes. You know what's happening to them? They're actually pushing them. Their opponents are actually pushing them away from contests and not allowing them to get a run at the ball because they know that if they let them goal side of them, they're dead. And they are stopping them all the time. So that's changing the Cats' thought process on how they play. They have watched and learnt, and they've used it very well, the Pies. Well done to them. They've been terrific. But we're not certain about the Cats yet. They always come. And they'll have a burst.
They will.
Can they withstand the Pies?
And just knowing what Rodney Eade's involved in Collingwood, and something that he was, what we found very effective when we were probably going through our kind of good years as a footy club at the Bulldogs, that Geelong are so good at flicking the ball around, using that free player. So we were really coached to go to the receivers, to shut down those options, and I think Collingwood are doing that really well tonight.
Let's have a look at some of the figures to quarter time. Overall possessions 108-94 in favour of the Pies. The contested possessions 46-35. The inside 50s are 17-12. So it's all in favour of Collingwood. Pendlebury had 10 touches in the first quarter. O'Brien and Blair both 9. Elliott, Swan and Dwyer each had 8, as well as Sidebottom had 8. And for the Cats, Stokes led the way with 10 possessions. Enright had 9. Bartell had 8. Would you believe Bartell had 41 Dream Team points? It shows you how useless they are.
It does. It just shows you a lot of those kicks were just in the pocket from full back. But I'm sure he's a quality player. He'll bounce back.
Bounce for the second quarter. Umpire Ray Chamberlain. Collingwood by 18 points. Jolly slaps it down. Now he'll go after it and rove his own footy, the big man. Kicks Collingwood to half forward. Enright put his hand out and said, "I've got it, boys." And he takes an easy mark on his own at half back on the MCC members' side, with those Seagulls flying low. Corey Enright towards the wing. Hawkins in front. Trying to take it. Seaman spills to the back to Motlop. Now to Corey. Threads a hand pass back to Motlop. Gets a bad bounce. Not a good hand pass by Corey. Russell an offensive give. Puts Reid under the pump. Motlop all over him like a cheap suit. Sees it over the boundary in the forward pocket at the Hunt Road end in front of the northern stand. Opening minute, second term. Geelong down by 18 points. In front, West. Chance for the Cats to try and crumb it. They can't. Joel Corey's on the bottom of the pack, and there'll be a ball up.
Well, you reckon from that play there, it should have been a shot for goal for Motlop for sure. But the ball is a funny shape.
That's a free kick against Jolly.
There's a holding. and it is a free kick.
What was he thinking?
Against Jolly to West, and West, who kicked a goal in the first quarter, is close enough to kick a second.
I cannot believe that Jolly's arguing. He just grabbed him round the stomach and tried to pull him out of the contest. It's a joke. And he's arguing with the umpire? Ridiculous. What is all that about?
Not a renowned goal kicker. Trent West came into the game with 20 goals from 48 games. This for his second. Much needed one for the Cats. He's kicked it really well. That is a it's hit the left-hand goalpost flush. It was a good kick by the big fella. Cats go to 3-2, and the Pies are 5-7. Early going second quarter.
So Russell will inbound, the former Blue for the Pies. Very close to the boundary line. O'Brien just marks, had his feet on the chalk. Sellers kicks down the line, and Jolly marking it halfback, MCC member side. Inboard kick is no good, looking for Cracker.
That's
chopping it off as Corey. Good hand pass now, taken by Thurlow. Speculative kick it on the bounce. Hawkins picks it up, snaps around the body, and kicks a magnificent goal. Bad blue by the Pies. Geelong get one back, and can you believe it? They're within 11 points, and they've only had 6 scoring shots to 12. 4-2, 26 to 5-7, 37. Josh McDermott on the boundary.
Dan, Billy Smets looks a little bit sore down here. It looks like his ankle. He's just popped a couple of painkillers, which the doctors gave him, so we'll keep an eye on him, but he's looking a little bit sore at the moment.
Jolly just popped that one up a little bit too high, but Blair had to attack. I think it was Blair had to actually attack the ball. He just kind of waited for it to come. Joel Corey, too good a player, read it off the boot and got it in.
A year ago or 2 years ago under Mick Moldhouse, so it would never have gone inside. Under Nathan Buckley, they keep chipping inside and they keep getting cut off. That's why their defensive numbers are low.
2 goals to Hawkins.
Margin back to 11 points. West wins in the ruck in the middle. There's a clash of bodies. Underneath it, Ball gets the free kick. Goes by hand to Pendlebury. Off to O'Brien. He's past to Cloak. Too high for him. Blair has a chance to run onto this 40 from goal. He goes straight past it. Gathered by Blitzatz. He's caught in a tackle and loses it. Out the back door, the ball comes to Thurlow. Works it to Bartell. He's kicked into the centre square. Hawkins in front. A spoil by Reid and a punch up the ground by Seedsman. Fumbled by Pendlebury, which is rare. Corey's been excellent for the Cats. He's ridden into the ground. No prior opportunity. The umpire comes in to ball it up. His umpire Shane McInerney. 37 to 26. An 11-point lead to Collingwood. Nearly 4 minutes played second quarter.
Ball up just near the circles. Right in the middle of the MCG. West got a little hand on that one. Taken by Ball. Well held up and a tackle placed on him by West. In fact, it's side bottom. Sorry, Luke, gave you disservice then. Tried to get out of the tackle and West hung on for dear life and is rewarded with the free kick. Plays on quickly. Kicks inside 50 for the Cats at the punt road end. Brown the punch. After it's Schroeder. Maxwell hands and knees hand pass on the up to Dwyer for Collingwood. Now Seedsman under pressure. Gets around opponents. Kicks to the Great Southern stand side. Chance for Big Wits. Tackled by Mackie as he got hold of the football. Comes out now to Caddy of the Cats. On the left. Inboard kick inside 50 looking for Podsiadly, but he was caught behind. And Nathan Brown holds his ground and marks for the Pies, who lead by 11 points.
Plenty of seagulls circling around. Kick by Brown out towards the wing. Wits in the middle of the pack. Can't take the mark. It comes to the front. Schroeder taken to ground. Collingwood fans say, how about that bowling the ball? Umpire circles and says, give it to me. I'm going to throw it up. This is a very pro-Collingwood crowd. It's their home game. And they're screaming blue murder.
Hey, Drew, they're filled up too.
Yeah, it is a big crowd now. From the stoppage, Blair goes in and wins it. Ducks into trouble. Caught in a good tackle. Taken to ground by Duncan. Harry O'Brien's playing the game of his life. He gathers. Hand pass to Pendlebury. Off to side bottom. Goes the short pass. Wits marks. The hand pass back to Pendlebury. Always looks as though he's just cruising. In he goes to side bottom. That's a poor hand pass. Over the head of Thomas. And Lonergan might be happy to see that out. Oh, he kept it in. He shouldn't have. It's going to be a Geelong free kick. Ball comes back to Mackie. This Collingwood crowd not happy with the freeze. It's 6-4, now 7-4 in favour of the Cats.
Stokes and Guthrie kicks it high. And the mark was dropped by Duncan, who has to paddle it under pressure. Inside defensive 50, chopped up by Seaman. Handballs to Pendlebury. Flying shot, turnover. Collingwood kill you. Lead out to 17. The Silky Ones got 2. And there's 6-7, 43 to 4-2, 26 on Grandstand AFL. And Sydney have hit the front at the SCG, 4-1, 25. The Dockers, 3-6, 24.
Guthrie had that spent before he actually had it, and as soon as it fell into Pendlebury's hand, as soon as he kicked it, he started celebrating. But the Cats it's a little bit concerning just from looking up here. I think the Cats have really got to start hitting their straps.
Josh?
Painkillers have kicked in for Billy Smets, and he's come onto the ground, but looks a little bit ginger, so keep an eye on him.
Luke Ball also takes advantage of the break between goals to come off the bench as Pendlebury sits down. Ray Chamberlain bounces in the middle. West with a run. Gets it going his way, but doesn't go any further than that. Corey a good hand pass. Duncan has a kick partly smothered. Gathered by Harry O'Brien again. Little hand pass to Swan. He straightens him up. Beautiful kick. And the mark taken by Cloak on the lead. 60 from goal. He leans back and thumps it to the goal square. Witts is there, so there's a bit of height. Punch down, comes to the front. Ball traps it. Gets a high tackle umpire. No whistle on the play. It's cleared out of there. And onto the chest of O'Brien, who marks 49 out in front of goal.
And the ball's following him tonight. Wherever he goes, the ball's just...
he just read that beautifully.
Dropping into his lap, but it's quite a penetrating kick, so I'm going to back him. He'll definitely get the distance, but I'm not sure about the accuracy.
That was Josh Caddy's kick out of defence, a late inclusion for Steve Johnson. And he went down the corridor, which could prove costly, with O'Brien having a shot for goal from 55. He's given it a hook and hasn't made the distance. Ball still in play as it's punched out in front of the goal square. They scrap for it, and the Cats eventually able to clear. And kick by Thurlow out towards the boundary line, and out it goes, and we have a throw-in.
So half-back, Great Southern stand side. Geelong under siege. They trail by 17 points against the Pies. Early stages, second term. From the side, slapped down by the Cats, but the Pies kick inside 50, but only as far as Thurlow. It's not paid. Dwyer roving, runs away, goal! I thought Thurlow had that claim. But Dwyer, he was there. He's kicked 2, snatched it, and Collingwood by 23, 7-7, 49. Geelong 4-2, 26, Grandstand AFL.
Well, they just continue to... Well, I couldn't work that out if that was a mark or not. Doesn't matter now. It's a goal to Dwyer. And they just continue to rush. It doesn't matter what happens. They're concentrating on the ball. And I don't think the Cats are quite as hard at it as the Pies at this stage. It was an incredible little kick. It was dropped to the ground. They pinched it off him and away they went. But they are just harder at it. To me, I couldn't see any difference whether there was a mark or not.
I think it was a mark, and I think Thurlow went to play on and had the hand pass run down. The kick came from Ball, and he did well to mark it, but he played on too quickly.
West wins the hit out in the middle. Ball comes down to Ball, who's slung to the ground. It spills to Swan, has a little toe poke out of there. Turned over, though. Grabbed by Mackie. Little kick across the ground. Smets. Oh, he's gone. He turned into trouble. He had prior umpire.
Yeah, they're hard at it. They haven't seen pressure like this for a while, the Cats.
Blair takes the free kick and kicks to Cloak, who'd slipped away from his man and takes the mark about 40 metres from goal.
Well, they look flat, Geelong. They don't look their normal selves. I'll put it down. Collingwood's pressure's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And just Dwyer before. I think that pace, I think Geelong are getting beaten at their own game tonight, and that's the pace.
Well, they don't have the numbers around the ball. Like Smets was on his own with 3. It's pretty hard to beat that.
23 the difference, and Geelong are just so good at coming from behind. They've done it time and time again in recent years. But Collingwood's lead, instead of being 23, could be 43 if they kick straight. Cloak wide out, 49 out, and hits the post again. Another post out.
In a few of them.
Well, so that is now 7-8 for Collingwood to 4 goals 2.
He would have kicked 1,000 goals by now, Cloak, if he could actually kick straight. He is such a poor kick for goal. It's amazing.
He had 22-22 going into today's round. Continues to plot his copybook with his kicking. Motlop marks in the back pocket. Not much to kick to. Seaman does well to hold him up. Delivers now to Mackie. Floats into a little bit of space at halfback. Fins a hand pass off to Stokes. Kicks Geelong towards the wing. Good use of the body, Hawkins. Is it too good use of the body? No. He'll play on quickly. Kick towards half forward. Podsiadly there with big wits. He couldn't mark it. Taken by Caddy. Snaps around the body. It's gone through legs. No, it was touched, I think, on the line. Lynch and Taylor were there on the goal square at the Punt Road end. It's a behind. 4-3-27 Geelong. Collingwood 7-8-50. 11 and a half played in the second term.
Jordan Russell kicks in to Seedsman. Little round the corner kick, finds Williams still at right halfback. Williams kicks over centre wing and says to Cloak, get after that. Well, he's killing Lonergan. He doesn't take the mark, but he knocks the ball on, and a further paddle is chopped off by Selwood. Ball kept alive by Cracker, who sockers it off the ground inside the 50. Chopped off by Bartell, who goes for the short pass, and Enright takes the mark on defensive 50. Further short pass, and Mackie. Time for the Cats to slow things down, take a deep breath, because Collingwood have hit them at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
They sure have. And Bartell has another fumble as he receives inside defensive 50. They switch towards the outer side, and Enright marks. Handballs now to the running Bartell. He double-handed that as well, but eventually kicks towards half forward. He's kicked over, slammed away. Slips to Stokes, spins out of tackles. Handballs to Caddy, takes them on in the middle. On the left, kicks inside 50. Great kick, and on his own is a man who loves a goal, Billy Smets, who Josh mentioned had been injured earlier, at left half forward towards the Punt Road end.
Well, you can thank Corey Enright and also Jimmy Bartell for that. Good setup, good movement, good follow-up, and continue to run in numbers. And all of a sudden that beats the opposition all the time. They've been poor at that so far.
10 goals this year for Smets. One of these medium-sized forwards wreaking havoc. 40 metres out. He knows where they are, but on that occasion he's pulled it to the right-hand side. It's a behind, and Geelong a 4-4-28. Collingwood 7-8-50. We've played 13 minutes in the second term. It's Sydney now leading by 7 points over Freo at the SCG.
Lynch has gone to the bench. He's hardly had a sight, Quentin Lynch. Just a couple of possessions as the Pies work it out of defence. Maxwell marks near the boundary line, defensive 50. He's cornered a bit by Blitzaz. Hand pass back to Pendlebury. Now to Maxwell. And he's found a bit of space. Cruises through the 50 and kicks down the corridor. A chance to run onto this. Ball is there, and he works it into Cracker beautifully. Cracker from the front edge of the square. He's gone the spiral. It's travelled many a mile, but offline and misses. Another miss. They're 7-9 to 4-4.
Josh?
Billy Smets has just been handed the red vest, so he's done for the night. Josh Hunt into the game, his first game of the season.
He's in my dream team too. I couldn't tip my hat. Joel Corey's kick is no good, but there was backup. It was intended for Guthrie. Hall Smith was behind him. Handballs to Guthrie, so it's come off all right. And Duncan marks in the middle. Hand pass out of Thurlow sold him a massive task. He was tackled, lost control of it, spills to O'Brien. Now to Swan, got cornered but still got a high kick inside 50 from behind. Elliott nearly took a screamer. Sockers to his own advantage, and Podsiadly sockers away for the Cats. Spills to Christensen, they're under the pump, and now Hall and Smith combining well with Motlop, and Hall and Smith in the middle. Takes them on Motlop, who's bearing down. Wicks has got him, and he's been tackled and penalised. The Cats trying to take them on tonight. They're not aware of their opponents around them. Collingwood another free kick.
Witts hand pass to Seedsman. He kicks the full forward, and Bartell starting to get hold of the ball.
Better.
Like he wasn't in the first quarter. Good mark. Comes out wide to Corey, and the old timers are starting to stand up. Mind you, the ball has been on Geelong's defensive line for most of the night. 51 to 28. The inside 50s at 26 to 17. The ball up short of the wing, and there's a high tackle Ray Chamberlain's paid here, and it's going to be, well, it's a good one. Blair got a high tackle on Podsiadly. Must have used a step ladder. Podge takes it from behind the wing, kicks to half forward. Hawkins in front, outnumbered 2-1. Russell gets back, there's no mark taken. Ball on the deck, 55 from goal. Mackie pushed in the back, free kick. It's against Seedsman.
Pretty lucky.
He can kick it long, this bloke.
He doesn't go for the score. He puts it out to the hot spot out in front of goal. Clash of bodies, chance here for the Cats. Hall and Smith's in there. And well done by Caddy to somehow get boot the ball. and it pitched near the goal line and took a huge break and goes through for a minor score. Caddy, a late inclusion in the side for Steve Johnson, gets his first score tonight. And the crowd just told that Billy Smets has been subbed out for Josh Hunt. You heard it first here on Grandstand with Josh.
Russell back into play. Brown round the outer side, delivers down the line. Big Wits couldn't mark it, got a long way to bend down. Does well to gather and handball to Pendlebury. Floating now in the direction of McCaffer. Handballs to side, bottom wide, back to McCaffer inside. He gets cornered, has to kick high under pressure. Lynch, 2 or 3 to beat. Slapped away. It is crumbed at ground level by Stokes. Stokes now kicks to Mackey, just takes the mark with Williams bearing down. Still inside defensive 50. Handballs to Stokes, cruising by. Kicks Geelong into the middle now. Hawkins up. Had it spoiled as well. Good play, Paddy to Rovers. Under pressure, he stood up in a tackle. Hall Smith got the kick out wide to Schroeder. Draws the man, and there's the man that... Lindsay said was waiting for it. Jimmy Bartell gets it from Christensen, and Bartell kicks the goal. Good play by the Cats. And then our 5-5-35, Collingwood 7-9-51. We've played 17 minutes in the second quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Started all from the back line. Mackey actually left his opponent to actually make the spoil, and their use of the ball up the ground was fantastic. They made the ground big, and what I mean by that, they just used the width. They took it off the line. They got it. They just got the overlap really well, and Bartell finished with obviously the easiest of goals.
Well, he's made a massive comeback after a mistake-riddled opening 10 minutes. Bartell up to 15 possessions, and the margin's back to 16 points. Be very careful, Collingwood. You can dominate this team, but if you don't put it on the scoreboard, they can come and get you. Blitzav's in the ruck, and he receives the hand pass back from Corey. Kicked by Blitzav's deep inside the 50, but Russell's back there for Collingwood to take the defensive mark. Kicks up short of centre wing. Ball, beautiful use of the body on Bartell to take the mark. Luke Ball, great to have him back in football. More than a year out of the game after the knee Rico. He kicks down the line towards half forward. Jolly takes a good mark on Blitzav's. 2 kicks to goal from there at least. They're coming back here a little bit. Now, kicked by Jolly. Lonergan puts the spoil on Cloak. In front, Podgiadli. He loses it to Swan. Then Podgiadli becomes the tackler. Play on, says the umpire, and now he's going to throw it up, Ray Chamberlain. But close to goal. Collingwood lead 7-9-51 to Geelong 5-5-35.
Tapped down by West. Corey, a hand pass. Heard the voice of Hall and Smith. It didn't get to him. Loose ball comes out to Swan in the forward pocket. Tries to control it under duress. Hard on the boundary. Kicks into bodies. No, it wasn't. He did kick into bodies. Because Elliott's there and got tackled. He thought the mark was his. And there's going to be a ball up, is there? There is. Elliott thought the mark was his, but I was sure that it was kicked into bodies and a ricochet to him. It's bounced 40 metres out. Bit of a stalemate there as Hall and Smith takes it. Hand pass comes to Christensen. Had it run down. Falls to Lynch for Collingwood. Hooks around the body. Rolls to full forward. Beats Podgiadli. Monaghan's there for back up. Oh, he's indecisive, Thomas. Handballs now to Enright. He feeds over the top to Podgiadli, who's got it in the back pocket at the City end with his team down by 16.
Kicks up to Mackey near centre wing, but a good spoil by Seedsman. Ball comes to side bottom back to Seedsman. Hand pass to Russell from right half forward all the way to the goal square. Cloak in the middle, no mark. Cloak puts pressure on, but it's Bartell's playing at both ends of the ground. He loses it in the goal square, but he gets it to his mate Corey. The hand pass is good to Stokes. And back to Josh Hunt, who kicks it a country kilometre over half-back flank, but an excellent mark has been taken by Pendlebury. Pendlebury superb, and what a pass! And Lynch takes the mark about 49 metres from goal.
Well, this will be a good test to see if he can actually kick the ball, because we haven't seen him kick it too often today, I don't think. And in the recent weeks, he hasn't been hitting it too cleanly. So, interesting time for this fella.
That's his first mark for the night, and he's had 2 kicks and 1 hand pass, Quentin Lynch.
Years ago, this would have gone goalpost height, but I think he's lost 10 to 15 metres actually off his kicking. So, interesting to see how he goes here.
Flyers lead by 16. The drop punt looks pretty good, and it sails home.
Well, I eat my words. That went almost hit the fence from about 53, 54 out. But you're right, Sellers. He hasn't got on the scoreboard enough this year, I guess, for my liking.
That's his fourth goal for the year.
Fourth goal for a year.
In eight games. That's not a good return.
No, it's not a great return. It's half a goal a game, but they're slowly getting Geelong were slowly getting themselves back into it. They didn't panic. That Pendlebury's mark out on that wing, can't underestimate that defence.
So it's 22 points, couple of goals to Dan Hanbury, gives Sydney a 2-goal lead close to half-time against the Dockers, who haven't scored a goal in the second quarter of the SCG yet. Bounce in the middle, and West and Jolly nullify each other. It's Phils to Big Jolly, who just tries to fend off Selwood and then gets run down by Thurlow. It comes out to McCaffrey, who squeezes it to centre half back though for Geelong, and Taylor's in the road. Delivers out wide a rolling ball, overrunning it Hall and Smith. Good shepherding Bartel. If George could find a handle, it might work for Geelong. Now he does defensively on the up towards Podsiadly. Had it knocked down, got it back to Stokes. But Stokes wasn't there. Podsiadly's third effort was okay. Luckily for Geelong, Stokes got offloaded. He'll take a free kick on the wing.
Well, that got up high, and with what we've seen this week with James Kelly, I'll be looking at that.
Yeah.
Because it got Stokes in the jaw.
Well, Chukwulado will take over, and we won't know until Monday afternoon.
Although he did run into him, and Jolly stood his ground, I thought.
Yeah, but it's
the head sacrosanct.
Yeah.
Mackey's kick to centre half forwards, grabbed by Maxwell, who just throws the ball on the boot, kicks it across the half back line. Side bottom had a chance to mark, fumbled it, and the ball lolloped over the boundary line for a throw in just outside the 50.
It would be sad to see him go, but you can understand, just going off the decisions this year, that it'll definitely be looked at.
Boundary throw in. Jolly palms it down to Swan, who has his kick smothered. Selwood wins a classic free kick for a high tackle. He just bends at the knees. Jolly got him, but he was blindsided by Cracker, who dispossesses him. Here come the Pies, Dan.
Absolutely. Can they make something of this, Drew? Cloak has got a couple of options. Lynch takes it. Although he's falling wide, didn't he? Hand pass to Elliott. He's kicked an absolute Barry Crocker. Nothing inside, attacking 50. Kicked off the side of the boot. Taylor takes the mark. He could have made them pay, Lynch, and hang your head, Quinton. That was a horror as Duncan marks at centre half back and then delivers in short to Hunt. 40 out from the goal there, defending at the City end. They dodged a bullet, the Cats.
Selfish and dumb. Dan.
22 points down. In short to Motlop.
I'd agree with you there.
He'll go for the big barrel, the ball burster. Didn't quite get onto it towards the wing. No one can mark. Who's going to swoop? Dwyer. Couldn't take it cleanly, but somehow got it out to O'Brien. Back to Dwyer, who's away. Hand pass now to Thomas around the outer side for Collingwood. Kicks towards half forward. Cracker marks. He's on his own. He can deliver into the pocket. Cloak will go. And the lead out to 28 for the Magpies. They've got the wood. Collingwood on Geelong, 9-9-63. The Cats are 5-5-35 on Grandstand AFL. 24 played in the second term.
Cats are trying hard, but you make a mistake in today's footy, you die. And you die quickly. And the ball was moved so quickly up the ground after the Cats made a mistake in the middle of the ground where there's players around them, and you rush at the ball and all of a sudden bang over the top, and just good movement, good use, calm, relaxed, hit the targets well, and Cloak was on his own in the goal square, takes an easy goal. You miss, you make a mistake, you're in big, big trouble.
Another goal to Sydney. Their lead out to 17 now against Fremantle right on half-time.
Andy Cracker's playing a beauty in his third game for the season. Hit out in the middle is won by Witts. It goes Collingwood's way. Dwyer run down from behind. Was the tackle carry him forward? Play on. It comes to West of Geelong. He kicks up towards full forward. Works to the front of the pack. Stokes does well. Rather Motlop. And kicks across his body. And it goes through for a behind. He gave it too much of a hook. Motlop 1 goal, 1 tonight. And the margin is 27 in favour of the Pies. 18 scoring shots to 11.
2-5 this quarter for the Cats. Maxwell back into play. MCC member side. Big Wits. Can he mark it? He can't. Slapped on by Joel Selwood. Williams in the way. Beat Motlop. And then Motlop lays a tackle, but he gets boot to ball, Marley. His kick's not great. Thurlow's in the road for the Cats in the middle. That pass is a beauty by the second gamer, who a player on his own, Podsiadly, at right half forward.
You're right, Dan. He didn't blaze away. He just lowered his eyes, and Pods probably hasn't had the best of night, so he really needs this one.
He hasn't had the best of night. He's a shocker.
Yep,
He's made fumble. He's made some mistakes. He played him down back and he's fumbled. He gets in the way sometimes. He needs to kick this. He owes him a couple.
He does.
Shine retiring Mark McClure on Grandstand AFL. That's why we love him. Tells it as he sees it. Podsiadly on the 50.
Hooked it.
And he's hooked that one. So it's 2 goals, 6 for the quarter now for the Cats, who are 5-7-37 and Collingwood at 9-9-63.
Pods one out of bounds and that behind. Russell kicks in, former Carlton player. Mark taken by Brown, deep in the back pocket. Gets it outside the 50. Podsiadly puts a contest on. Did he interfere? The ball's finished up out of bounds. And be thrown in. West the only ruckman to get there. Works it down to Corey, who's tackled high by Williams. No whistle on the play. Josh Hunt darts through. Loses control of it. Crack of the hand pass to Blair. He goes back to Russell, who was monstered over the boundary line by Bartel, who is strong, way above his size. And it's a throw-in. 63-37. Close to half-time. 27 minutes played.
Ball's on the wing. Blair has it for Collingwood. Shakes the tackle. Handballs to Pendlebury to Cracker on the outside. Has to change direction while being cornered. Delivers into the middle. Not a great kick. Poor mistake by Cracker. Turnover. Blitzavs. Handballs to Mackie for Geelong and now to Stokes. Back edge centre square. In short to Corey. 15 possessions, 12 of them hand passes. There's his fourth kick. That's why he should hand pass. That's a horror goal.
They should
Marked
score.
by Maxwell right on half-time. So great quarter by Collingwood. Great half by the Pies. They kicked 5-7 in the opening quarter to 3-1. 4 goals, 2-2-6 in that term, and their lead has been extended by a further 8 points from 18 to 26 at the long break. Collingwood 9-9-63, and on Grandstand AFL, Geelong at 5-7-37. For the Pies, 2 apiece to Pendlebury and Dwyer, 1 each to Cracker, Elliott, Lynch, Sidebottom, Cloak. And for Geelong, their goal kickers so far, we've seen 2 to Hawkins and 1 each to Bartel, West and to Stephen Motlock. Collingwood at 9-9-63, Geelong at 5-7-37. And at the SCG, Sydney by 18 points with a very good second quarter against Freo, who went goalless. Sydney 7-2-44. The Dockers are 3-8-26. Lindsay Gilbey and Mark McClure with their look at the first half.
We've seen a rejuvenated Collingwood. That's what we've seen. And the fans love it. The Pies fans are here and they're loving it because they've been down and out. They've been the worst in the competition in defence, in movement of the ball, scores against, scores for. Not tonight they haven't. They've been outstanding. They've been sensational. They won the first quarter by 18 points and you would think with 37 points kicked to 19 and they were wrapped and the fans went, how good is this? Because they ran at the ball. They were hard at it. Their leaders in Pendlebury were fantastic. Sidebottom, Swan, Blair, O'Brien's there. Their defence in Reid and Maxwell, just terrific at the way they kept pushing it through the midfield. And they're younger players. I really like the Dwyer and Sidebottom and a few of the others. Young Cracker's getting some touches as well. Elliott's got a goal as well. They've been terrific. The second quarter they won quite comfortably again. They won 4-2. So they've won both quarters, and that's how you play this game. You play it in little patches. First quarter you win the second quarter. They win the third quarter. They're going to be hard to beat, and that's what they'll be talking about at three-quarter time. But a couple of goals early with Pendlebury and Dwyer set the pattern for the game. They continue to move on. And then Hawkins and Bartel jumped in and did something. You can see them start to settle down and start to move the ball. Corey Enright, Bartel down back, starting to move it around, get it forward. And all of a sudden they started to kick some goals as well. But all of a sudden they came back. Lynch kicked one on the 21-minute mark of the second quarter from over 50 metres. He hit it beautifully and went through. And then Cloak backed it up with another one. They are in full control at the moment, the Pies. And the turnover in this game, you die. And I reckon they've capitalised 4 or 5 times with turnovers for goals.
And playing against a team such as Geelong, you have to make them accountable, and you have to beat them going the other way. And Collingwood are doing really that. So it shows you how each week, if you don't bring your A game, doesn't matter who you're playing. As we saw today, Brisbane beat the Bombers. Collingwood have brought it tonight, and they've brought the pressure. They've gone back to the of Collingwood of old, for my liking. They're attacking. They're taking them on through the middle. Geelong are getting beaten at their own game with Dwyer and Seedsman, guys who are actually carrying the ball and being those 70, 80-metre players. They're just the pressure, and it shows you AFL football is all between the ears. Mentally, if you don't bring it, Collingwood have tonight.
Possessions are very similar. Contested possessions almost the same. Tackle count, probably Geelong are just in front of Collingwood. But inside 50s, 33 to 23. Massive difference. And that shows on the scoreboard.
And the clearance is 20 to 12. They're
and they
big.
They were terrible at clearances, Collingwood.
Yeah, they were. And it's just getting value from those clearances. And it can be a discrepancy as that is, but their quality they're actually getting out of the midfield of those clearances is really setting this game up for them.
And the Pies, and you know what, and the Geelong are fumbling. We're starting to see some fumbles. They're not good below their knees, a couple of these blokes. And when there's numbers around you, it's hard. Drop chest marks, drop marks all over the place. So, interesting half for Geelong. I mean, they're a great side and they've been up for a long time and they've won 7 or so in a row.
Yep.
Can they win 8? Or are the Pies going to teach someone how to play against this mob and really put pressure on the opposition, which is good?
Well, North were 41 points up just before half-time back in round 2, and Geelong managed to reel them in. It's getting danger time again for the Cats, and they somehow found a way in all those other games despite starting badly, but they'll need to improve a lot in the second half. It has been Collingwood's half, 9-9-63 the Pies. If they lose tonight, the Gold Coast Suns, the Gold Coast Suns will be ahead of them on the ladder after they beat the Western Bulldogs for 2 in a row for the first time ever in their short history in this competition. But Collingwood have started well here. 9-9-63, Geelong 5-7-37. And at the SCG, the Swans 7-2-44, leading the Dockers, who are 3-8-26. More football soon, but let's hear the latest now from ABC News. Collingwood all the answers in the first half of the MCG on Grandstand AFL, with Dan Lonergan, Drew Morford, Mark McClure, Lindsay Gilby and Josh McDermott. 9-9-63. Big first quarter, but they kicked poorly. 5 goals, 7. They kicked 4-2 in the second. Geelong 3-1 in the first quarter, kicked 2-6 in the second. They're 5-7-37. So Collingwood by 26 points. At the SCG, it's the Swans 7-2-44 leading the Dockers 3-8-26. Freo started brightly but were goalless in that term. They led by 5 points at quarter time. And other results today, 2 in a row for the first time in their history for the Gold Coast. They beat the Bulldogs. They were behind for the first 2.5 quarters, then blew them away late in the third term. 13-15, 93 to 8-13, 61. Jager O'Meara could be one of the favourites for the Rising Star, was adjudged best on ground by our ABC experts Craig Starcevich and Jeff White. Hawthorn too good for GWS, 21-14, 140 to 9-3-57. And the boil-over of the day, Brisbane 14-12, 96, beating the Bombers. 2 losses in a row for the Dons. It was this time last year when the wheels started to fall apart. 12-14, 86.
That was an incredible game. The lead changed about 18 times.
Yep.
And there was just a couple of goals in a row right at the end. And it was Staker back from multiple knee injuries and terrific return to football who kicked the winner at the end.
Yeah, it was a bit of a fairy tale, and they needed to show a statement, the Brisbane Lions, Mark, didn't they? Because Michael Voss had been under some pressure. Very tough draw, but they've managed to get a result against the Trent today, which was a great performance by them.
You deserve what you get, and you work hard and you get a result. And Michael Voss's team did that, and they were terrific. Unfortunately for the Bombers, they're under a little bit of pressure at the moment. I think they may be starting to wear and tear on them a little bit, this investigation that whatever happens, and I think it might be just playing a little bit on their minds. And they may have taken these blokes a little bit easier as well. And you can't do this in this game, as you've seen tonight. This has been superb, what we've seen tonight from the Pies. We didn't expect this, but it's been good.
Lindsay, do you think, looking at what Geelong's done in the first half, they're definitely not out of it yet? As we said earlier, they're great finishers. They don't start so well. They certainly haven't this year, but they're undefeated. And the way Essendon played today, that even though both teams had 8-day breaks, that last Friday night's match was a bit more taxing than most of us thought.
Yeah, you would think so. With an 8-day break, clubs and fitness staff, I know you're probably not a big fan of the old fitness staff sellers, that they like to get load in. And what I mean by that is, with that 8-day break, is by day 3, day 4, is to really get some running into the legs of the players, some load. some heavy training, if that's what you want to call it. But 26 points down at half time, I don't think Geelong are out of the game at all. They can come out and kick 4 or 5 in 10 minutes, and then it's back to level. So I don't see Geelong out of this game whatsoever.
How would you like to be sitting in the rooms, Dan? You know, you're 25 or 26, 30 points up against the best side in the competition who you know can blow you away. What's your thought process? What do you think about?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you up it again. I mean, you've got to up it again because they're going to up it. They're going to up their power, up their speed, up their dare. They're going to actually have a real dip for the first 15 to 20 minutes of this quarter. And if you don't match it, they roll over the top of you. And that's where the problem lies with some people, some clubs. They go, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. No. You've got to go harder. You've got to go better. You've got to keep doing what you're doing and improve it. And attack them. You've got to attack. You cannot defend against these blokes because they will roll straight over the top of you. They love that when people go short, chippy, and do that stuff.
And yeah, you're right. As soon as you go into preservation mode, especially against a team like that, Collingwood going in 26 points now, it'll be in the back of their mind saying, we're playing against a good opposition here and who are never out of it. If it was three-quarter time and it was 26 points of difference, I still wouldn't count Geelong out of it. I think you're right. You've got to go hard again. They're going to come out hard, the Cats. The Pies have just got to match it and then go one better.
So good lead for Collingwood, 9-9-63, Geelong 5-7-37.
They've been behind 3 times at half-time in their 7 wins. So 3 times they've been able to come from behind and win, and the acid's been put on them again tonight to do the same. Let's have a look at some of the statistics to half-time, and the stats did even up in that second quarter, certainly in total possessions, because the Pies lead by just 4 now, 192 to 188, and the contested possessions, they lead by 5, 75 to 70, so they've really evened up. The tackle count favours the Cats, 32 to 30, and the inside 50s are a big difference, as Sellers mentioned. Collingwood 33 to 23. Now the disposal efficiency, Geelong are 72% operational and Collingwood at 69%. But some of the individuals, how's the game of Scott Pendlebury right from the first bounce of the game? He's 19 possessions to half-time, 6 of them contested, phenomenal half a footy. Harry O'Brien going like a whirlwind, he's 17 possessions, Swan with 15, but he hasn't been as effective tonight as we've seen him earlier. 9 of his possessions have been contested and he's had 4 clearances. Sidebottom 13, Blair 13, Cracker 13, Dwyer 11 and Josh Thomas with 10. Now for the Cats, Stokes with 20 possessions, so he's ahead of Pendlebury and he leads all comers. Matthew Stokes with 20 possessions, 8 of them contested. He's had 12 kicks and 8 hand passes. Bartell with 16 after a slow start. Mackie 16, Corey 16, Enright 13 and Podsy Adley with 10. If we go down to the other end of the scale, well, Billy Smets has been subbed out of the game. He had just 3 touches. The man who replaced him, Josh Hunt, has had 3 also. Blitzav's 4 possessions, West 5, but he kicked a goal. Lonergan with 5 possessions and just 15 Dream Team points to half-time, but he's got his hands full with Cloak. Down the bottom of the list for Collingwood, well, Marley Williams, just 3 possessions to half-time. Lynch has had a bit of a shocker. He kicked a terrific goal late in the half, but 5 possessions. Witts 5, Reid 5, and Russell was 6.
So the Cats are out. The Pies have just made their way out. Half-time at the SCG. Sydney 7-2, 44, Freo 3-0, 26. Yes, Alex?
So Chris Scott, you know, he goes in at half-time. He's been in this position before. So who's he hit on the head early? He gets hold of Hawkins. He gets hold of Duncan, who's I thought's been poor in the first half. Selwood is down. He's 7 possessions. He's never at that area. He's a captain, and he gets the leaders, and he puts in Motlop as well, who hasn't really touched it much. Enright, Corey, Bartell, the leaders of the place, and he goes, right, you blokes, you know what to do, and this is where we got to lift and actually make a statement. We may not win this game, but we got to make a statement that we are finishing off this game well. I'm not certain they can win the way they're playing, but we have seen them lift and we have seen them blow sides to pieces.
And the thing about it, I reckon he'd be most disappointed, 33 inside 50s. They pride themselves on their defence, and that's a fair few. They're going on at 66 against them, but 18 scoring shots is the thing I think he'll be pretty upset about, and that he'll want to fix in this half.
Well, they put Joel Corey again in the midfield, starting most of the matches this year and most of the halves this year in defence. He has had 16 touches. He needs to probably handle more than he'll kick. 4 kicks, 12 hand passes. Selwood is there, but has been well held by McCaffrey so far. His droop for the second half. What are the Cats made of? They're 26 points in arrears of the Magpies.
Beautiful night, but crisp and cool here at the MCG. There's the bounce. Comes down to Selwood. He wedges the ball out. Jolly follows up. Bit of volleyball is played. It's cleared by Russell with the outside of his boot up towards half forward. Clean bowls Enright, but he gets back after it and replaces the stumps. Hand pass. Oh, it could have been dangerous. Christensen works it on. Ball's flipped around quickly. And the kick by Duncan under pressure goes out of bounds on the bounce. He was put under pressure by Ball, making a return here tonight. And the ball's out of play just forward of the wing. 9-9-63 to 5-7-37.
First thought for Duncan, he tried to do 2 things at once, just hit it straight away.
McCaffrey at ground level, got it out towards Blair. Hand pass towards Ball now. He kicks in the direction of Witts. The big man stretches, grabs it, and then he's grabbed by Mackie in a tackle. He'll be taken either over the boundary. No, it's just inside the boundary in front of our commentary position where the members stand and the northern stand meet. It's thrown up and West open-handed palm, but no one can gather it. Boundary throw in front of the Geelong dugout.
It's interesting. Collingwood have got 2 behind the ball and Geelong got 2 the other end. So interesting setup.
Cats have already subbed out Billy Smets. Josh Hunt in for his first game this season. Pendlebury. He was tackled to ground as the ball fell his way from the boundary throw, and there'll be another ball up. 63 Collingwood, they're 9-9. Geelong 5-7-37.
West comes over the top, wins the hit out. Ball out of the pack, hoisted high by Caddy, down towards half forward. Podsiadly is there. Maxwell at the back, the hand pass away. And down the line goes Reid. Oh, there was the interference. Swan and Enright, they had a bit of a wrestle before the ball got there. And all the Collingwood fans say, what about a free for Swanee? There's nothing doing. Ball goes out of bounds. And we get a throw in.
It's a good contest.
Absolutely.
2 of the best in the game.
Here's the throw in. West and Jolly once more. Jolly gets rid of him. Ball comes down and Thomas kicks towards full forward. There's a wrestle going on before this ball arrives as well, and this time the free kick is paid and it goes Lonergan's way against Cloak.
Handballs to Enright, who delivers to a one-on-one contest. Half back out of side. Taylor knocked away by Lynch, arriving to wire. Lost control of it. Motlop on the scoop. Handballs to Josh Hunt. Half back out of side. Lovely kick. Oh, Mackie dropped what he had and should have taken at the mop-up read, but his hand pass intercepted by Taylor.
Bartel.
Hand passes to Duncan. Good play by Hawkins. The hand pass now to Christensen. Kicks to Bartel, who's about 40 metres clear on his own. Lindsay spotted him well before anyone else, and he's taken the mark in the forward pocket at the city end. He'll open up the angle. He's hard on the boundary. In fact, he's over the boundary. No daylight for him to look at. In regard to the goal, he opens up the angle a little bit, swings around the body. Jimmy Bartel, he's back. He's back. He's kicked a spectacular goal. Cuts the margin to 20 points. What's the old saying? Form is temporary, class is permanent. 9-9-63 Collingwood. Geelong 6-7-43, 3.5 played third quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Well summed up, Dan, but Mackie made that mistake out on the wing, but what actually got them back into it, Geelong put numbers over there. They got 3 or 4 over to the contest, got it out the back. Collingwood pushed up a little bit far, their defenders, got sucked up the ground and played that really well then, Geelong.
Now the NRL, Penrith, after beating the Storm last week, are whacking the Warriors 54-0, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Is anybody surprised that Bartel kicked that goal? Bounce in the middle. Jolly wins down to Pendlebury. He gets boot to ball. Scrambly old kick. Mark's taken by Duncan. Hand pass away to Mackie. Here come the Cats again at 50. Hands to the ball. Maxwell, but no mark. Cats are storming forward. The hand pass up. Under pressure. Bartel in the goal square again. Closed down by Seedsman, who gets his shin to the ball and sees it into the padding of the post to Russia behind. Gee, it looked like an almost certain goal coming up to the Cats there. And Caddy was in there again, who's done well, the late inclusion for Stevie J.
Young Schroeder just lacked a bit of experience to get hold of it as well. As it comes out to McCaffrey, kicks down the MCC members' wing and cloak. Opposed by Josh Hunt. Takes the mark. He's a long way from home. He's only kicked the one tonight. He's missed some shots as well. Kicked 23 for the season. He's on the left. He hoists it towards half forward. He won't be there to mark it though. Big Witz goes underneath it. And Thomas is there at the crumb. Quick give to Blair. Another one of the little fellows for Collingwood by hand to side bottom. Kicking inside 50, but 2 to beat Lynch. 1 Taylor, 1 Enright. Pretty hard to beat one of them, let alone 2 of them. And it's out of bounds in the forward pocket in front of the northern stand. Collingwood attacking the punt road end. They're 19 points in front.
At the throw-in, Jolly works to the front, but he's robbed by West. Gets the hand pass out the back door. Motlop clears the 50. There's interference in the marking contest to Hawkins, who's well down the ground, and Hawkins has the free at half-back.
So there should be too. So there should be, because the man in front should always get the reward.
Short pass to Motlop. He had to scramble to win it. Up to Selwood by hand. Off to Stokes. He kicks towards the 50. Bartell and Russell have a wrestle before the ball arrives. Umpire leaves the whistle away. Cleared by Dwyer for Collingwood.
Big contest, this one.
Yeah, hasn't hit a target, and Witz hasn't got the pace to go with Harry Taylor. Taylor gathers just near the boundary line, but Witz is helped out by Seedsman, who arrives and runs the ball over the boundary line. Inside defensive 50 for the Pies.
He does have the pace, Seedsman. He's a massive man, Jared Witz, playing his second game. Boundary throw in, and he wins the ruck contest. Russell collects it, handballs to Dwyer, puts his teammate Williams under the pump. Collingwood have numbers. Reid threading it out now to Elliott. Will run Collingwood out of defence. MCC member side on the left. Swan takes the mark just behind the wing opposed to Guthrie. 17th possession for Swan. Handballs wide to Dwyer. Now to Elliott. To Cracker. Getting in the way. Enright. Shaw's there's the spoil. Mopped up at the back by Hall and Smith for Geelong. Duncan lazy. Kicks straight into the body of Elliott. Swarms and wins for the Pies. Great kick. And Lynch takes the mark running into space. Having a Barry Crocker tonight, Mitchell Duncan.
You were right there with the call. Lazy is the call. And he comes for a spell.
Maybe a little bit of an earful too. What do you reckon?
A lot of earful.
He looks disconsolate. He looks flat. He thought he was coming off. He wants to come off, and he hangs his head in shame. 40 out, Lynch. This should be a soda. You put a moz on someone as soon as you say that. He should have kicked that. He missed that by a country mile. And it's Collingwood 9-10-64. Geelong at 6-8-44.
Gee, this inaccuracy could cost them by the end. Right at the end, and could be reeled in. Stokes kicks straight up the centre of the ground. It's punched forward. Comes to Blair. The little bloke does well at ground level, but his hand pass tapped out of the air by Selwood. He can't stop Dwyer as he gets through inside the 50. He centres the ball. Chance for Elliott. 35 out. Elliott kicks the goal. Well, Jamie Elliott set up Lynch. Should have been a goal to Lynch. So this time he gets on the end of it and says, well, I'll kick it myself. That's his second. And the Pies at 10-10 to the Cats 6-8.
Stole me words there, Drew. Footy pays you back in strange ways. He that smother he did before to actually get the ball going back their way and to finish off with the goals. Great work from Dwyer. He didn't blaze away. Christian overran it, and Elliott was in the right spot, and that's footy karma.
Still an 18-point lead to Sydney at the SCG. No score to either team early stages, third quarter there. The Dockers and the Swans. And Collingwood back to where we started at half-time. A 26-point margin. West. And Jolly, free kick against Jolly will go to West.
He doesn't jump, Jolly. He stands there and kicks his leg out. I mean, that's really poor.
West stabs it short to Corey. He'll want a hand pass, and he does. To a running Furlow on the MCC members' wing. Kicks inside 50. Schroeder attacks it hard. Great roving by Selwood. Handballs towards Christensen, who's a wonderful finisher. And the Cats are still there. 7-8-50. Collingwood at 10-10-70 on Grandstand AFL at the 9.5-minute mark.
They will not be denied, the Cats. They just keep coming. They were lucky to get a goal back there before. I think it was young Elliott who kicked that goal, and as a reply to the first one. They need to put 2 in a row, the Cats, to really start to scare them, put some pressure on, test the opposition, and that'll be their call. Just test them. See how much they want it. How much do you want it, Pies? Well, we'll see.
Margin back to 20 points. It had been 26 at half time. Absolutely close enough, the Cats. Umpire sets himself, and up it goes. Witt's beaten by West. Comes down to Corey, who has a bit of a fumble. Selwood doesn't. Puts the hand pass out in front of Christensen, who runs onto it. Gets the hand pass to Motlop. Back to Christensen. 45 out. What a goal from the bounce. Magnificent football by the Cats.
Well, how good was that out of there? It was fantastic, and you summed it up straight away. The Cats get 2 in a row. Now it's down to 14 points. The doubt will start creeping in Collingwood's minds, and the little man on the shoulder will start saying a few things. It was fantastic play, though.
Selwood, the captain, starts it off from the middle of the ground with a handball. It's 10-10-70 to 8-8-56, but 14-point lead.
Well, they struggle to get 2 in a row, as we mentioned. And is the move on. The third quarters have been very good for them this year. That's when they've made their moves. They've generally got away from opponents. West up. Corey's hand pass run down. Luke Ball takes it. Stand start kick inside 50 for Collingwood. Good mark by Hunt under pressure. Paid the mark. Had it long enough. Spreads it wide with that wonderful left foot kick to Enright. Hit the ground running. Spiral punts it. He was met late. Sits for Mackie, hard on the boundary, has side bottom for company. Kick in the direction of Blitzabs, can't grab it. Taken by side bottom now for the Pies. Hooks a high ball around the great southern stand side. Reading it brilliantly, reads it almost better than anyone in the comp. Corey Enright on the wing for Geelong.
Pies leading by just 14 points. Kick by Enright, and the mark's taken by Brown. Defensive 50 for Collingwood. Brown's kick back towards the centre wing. Excellent mark, McCaffer in front. He squares the ball in. Mark's taken by Swan. He's not sure where to go. Nobody really stands the mark. Hand pass to Pendlebury, not a bad option. His pass, Cloak couldn't take the mark. Lynch takes the crumbs off Jolly. Back to Swan, who's lifting. Kick by Swan deep inside the 50, but Thurlow takes the mark on his chest in defence for the Cats. We've played 12 and a half minutes third quarter, and the margin's just 14 points now.
Kicks to Taylor, still inside defensive 50, launches
Great
long,
kick.
a player on his own. It's young Schroeder, handballs inside to Mackie at half forward, 60 out, kicks long to an open goal! What a goal by Andrew Mackie! 3 in a row to the Cats! Here they come! 9-8-62, Collingwood 10-10-70, 13 played in the third quarter on Grandstand AFL. A couple of goals to the Swans, their lead out to 18 against the Dockers again.
Good play by Thurlow. Just read the ball coming into defence, took a mark, and then didn't muck around with it, didn't waste it, chipped it off to some more experienced players, and then they ran it through. Harry Taylor's kick up forward to inside the square was a 60-metre pass, and from that moment on it was Red Rover. Because he's a super player. Mackie just kicks it a long way. Great goal.
4 goals to 1.
Bounce in the middle. Gee whiz. It was nearly crooked enough to be recalled. But Blitzabs works the ball across to Stokes. He kicks it out wide. The side bottom takes the mark, running in the same direction as the ball. Over the top he goes with a beautiful foot pass. Pendlebury marks and is bowled over by Guthrie. The Collingwood fans want 50. Umpire doesn't pay 50. Pendlebury near the wing. Squares the ball into Maxwell. 70 plays 62. They led by 26 at half-time, Collingwood. Right across the ground. Through Seedsman it goes to Reid. Now he's on the broadcast wing. Kick by Reid to the 50. Lynch comes from late from behind. Dwyer's in front. He's stood up in a 2-man tackle, and the umpire will throw it in the air. 70 plays 62. The Cats are coming in this third quarter.
How do you think they're feeling now, the Pies? How do you think their mindset is now?
Nervous. Punch down and a throw by Lynch. A hand pass to Swan, back to Lynch, who was hot. Falls now to Selwood, to Stokes. Selwood tackle, good hands, Corey. Likewise, releasing the running Thurlow. Kicks Geelong to half forward. Running after it, Motlop. How quick is he? Picks it up now. Steadies on the right, kicks low to an open goal. It's rolling, but it rolls the wrong side. It skims. It didn't miss by much, and it just kept that forward line as open as a book. And they're scoring regularly. The margin 7 points, 9-9-63. The Cats. The Pies are 10-10-70.
He need the garbage tin to kick it into. Kick outside.
That's his brother, isn't it? Or a cousin or something.
I think it's a family trait, isn't it?
Yes. I think he can do it too.
I tell you what you can't do. You can't let him goal side.
No, wasn't he quick, and he ran away from Pendlebury. Mark on centre wing taken by Lonergan. Here come the Cats again. Into Corey, the short pass, and the mark taken on 50 by Schroeder.
Thurlow is involved then again. He's been very good in this third quarter, the youngster.
And they're all calling for him to have a shot, so they're pretty confident he's going to probably kick from 53, 54 metres, but Geelong have just stepped it up and said 26 points, but this will make it maybe within a kick.
Oh, he's got onto it. He's got the distance okay. Bit of a helicopter spin on the ball, but he gave it a hook and missed to the left-hand side. Jordan Schroeder playing just his third game, kicks his second behind for the night. Oh, it's one kick the difference, 10-10 to 9-10.
Short pass to Luke Ball in his first game since round 3 last year. Good man to have it. 30 out though from the goal. They're defending at the city end, and Geelong have been there a lot this quarter.
Now they don't know what
to
to
O'Brien. O'Brien looking to run it around the Great Southern stand side. Hard on the boundary, kicks towards the wing. Lonergan there, but a good mark in front. Cloak read it well, a dip for him, and he delivers inside to Pendlebury. Pendlebury will hand pass forward of the play. Side bottom. Swan. Hand pass in the direction of Dwyer. Back to side bottom. What a great kick to Witts. Running for them now. A shot at goal for the Pies by Seedsman. He's kicked a goal from 50 metres against the trend. Great hands by Collingwood, set up Paul Seedsman. And they're back out by 2 goals. They need it at 11-10-76. Geelong 9-10-64. What a match.
Well, fantastic ball movement. They actually kicked the ball off the side. I think it might have been Swan that got it out to here on the wing, but
side bottom.
Side bottom.
Just wizardry.
It was. Spot on there, Drew, but just got it out to him. Seedsman from 55 just made that look easy. He's saw him have a couple of shots a goal a few weeks ago, and he was brilliant that night, but his finishing skills are fantastic.
He didn't break stride, side bottom. Unbelievable.
It was good. Something you can't teach that.
Cats have kicked 4 goals to 2 though in this third quarter. Margin back out to 12 points in favour of the Pies. Witts wins the hit out, but it comes to Corey of the Cats. A high ball to centre half forward. And he came from nowhere, and the mark's been taken by Schroeder. Schroeder kicks to full forward. Hawkins takes the mark on the chest, about 25 metres from goal.
He could play this, Schroeder. I think it's his second or third game, and he just shows something. Third, he runs at the ball. He's tough. He's young. He's relentless. He's got a good-sized body, and they just continue to win the ball out of the middle. The Cats, they're just very, very good.
Haven't had a bad draft pick for about 10 years, Geelong.
Yeah, but that's not because, it's because they're developed very well.
Big Tom Hawkins. He's kicked 2 straight. This should be a soda. And it's a goal. And the margin 6 points once more.
He's a colossus down there, Tommy. He's a fitting colossus. But this is a super game now. We're wondering what the Pies will do next. Where are they going to go? I want to see some dare from them. I want to see them actually take them on. I want to see them try some stuff, because that's the only way they're going to penetrate this defence now. And the Cats are starting to win the centre bounces. The clearances are starting to go their way. And all of a sudden the scoreboard is starting to go their way as well. This is going to be a super finish. There's 6 points in it at this stage.
5 goals to 2 this quarter for the Cats. It's still Sydney by 17 points. And guess what? A low-scoring scrap at the SCG against the Dockers. What a Collingwood made of here. Ray Chamberlain taking forever to bounce it. And Witts wins it down and then kicks straight into the body of Bartel. Takes it for Geelong. Kicks inside 50 over the head of Caddy. O'Brien will get back for Collingwood. Caddy pushes him off it. Then he gets tackled by 2 opponents close to the boundary line at the city end. It'll be thrown back into play. A couple of metres around with the Cats down by a goal, 19 gone, third term.
Pies led by 26 points at half-time. If the Cats get a goal out of this, scores could be level. Ball comes to Brown. He kicks into a pack. Throw a blanket over a dozen players here. Close to goal. Selwood emerges. He's ridden into the turf. Spills to Podsiadly. Works it forward to Motlop. He's caught in a great tackle by O'Brien. The umpire says it's pinned in and he's going to throw it up. It's only about 15 metres from goal. Right in the teeth of the Cats' goal. Witt's in ruck against West. Blitzav's third man up. Comes down to O'Brien though, who clears to the 50 and Taylor up against Lynch. Couldn't quite hang on to the mark. Oh, beautiful hand pass from Hall and Smith back to Taylor. He concedes a little bit of ground to Mackie. Mackie puts it up to full forward and Podsiadly marks! In a pack, contested mark, 15 from goal.
Well, surely he won't miss this one, but how good was that? The hands out the back there. I'm not sure who it was, but Hall and Smith just handballed Taylor, didn't panic, got it across and just sat it up. Didn't blaze away, just sat it up and Pods had a good run and catch at it. All he needs to do is finish.
Well, the way he's been going, easier said than done. He's kicked it behind and one out of bounds. He is goalless tonight. This is gimme range. And he levels the scores at the 21-minute mark of the third quarter.
Well, we said at three-quarter time is 26 points a big enough margin. Obviously, we know it's not now being 76 all. It's you just can never write this team off. They're just amazing. The way they go about it, their structures, their leadership group. It'd be a privilege to play on that side.
It's great to watch. Forget about playing. It's just super to watch it. And the Pies are watching now. They're actually in awe of them as well. That's the problem. Get hold of the ball and go forward, Pies.
Amazing. Collingwood some work to do now with scores level 11-10, 76 apiece. It should be brought back. That was a bad bounce. Blitzlav's a couple of punches towards half forward. Motlop's hand pass was smothered. Spills out now. Getting a hand pass out Stokes to Bartel. Handball's clear of traffic inside 50. He's been superb after that poor start. Williams tries to track it, but the wrong way for Collingwood. They keep it alive, the Cats running onto it. Christensen handballs to Motlop, avoids a couple of tackles, swings on the right, hard on the boundary. He's kicked a miracle goal. He's put them in front. Can you believe it? He had to beat 2 or 3. They had him hemmed in. He just threw it on the boot. He's a spectacular player, Stephen Motlop. And Geelong at 12-10-82. Collingwood are 11-10-76.
And 7 goals for the quarter of the Cats. 7 goals to 1 for the quarter, 2 to the quarter for Cats. And they just continue. And there's 5.5 minutes to go, or 6 minutes to go in the game in this quarter. How many more can they put on? What are you going to do now, Pies? We're going to set up. You've got to win the ball. You can't let them get their hands on the ball because they're just powering over the top of you.
Oh, Stephen Motlop. The trick shots, they definitely run in that family. 12-10 to 11-10. Geelong in front. The bounce in the middle. It is won by Jolly, but he doesn't clear the area. He has been a kamikaze tonight, Jimmy Bartel. And he's worked at both ends of the ground. He has had a phenomenal night. Let me see. 18 possessions. Great stuff. 2 amazing goals. Hit out, one by Blitzavs. Work forward by Ball for Collingwood to Blair. Gets it to McCaffer. A high ball towards full forward. Comes to the front to Josh Hunt. Gets a hand pass to Guthrie. And they're out of trouble. Oh, the hand pass comes back to Duncan. Oh, but he kicks into the man that's smothered. Comes back to Duncan. He kicks again. Inside half forward. Front of the pack. Chance for Hawkins. Gathered by Swan. His hand pass to Reed. Back to Swan.
Oh, look out.
Here comes Motlop again. Wide out. 40 out. He goes for goal, but not this time. He misses to the near side. Through for a behind. Enough for a 7-point lead.
He's exciting, isn't he? The
he's
crowd
almost,
just lift as soon as he gets it.
He's almost taken over from Lewis Jedd's role. He's just been fantastic.
I think he's better than Lewis Jetta.
At this year, definitely.
O'Brien in short to Pendlebury. We'll get down to Josh in a minute. Just interested to find out what it'd be like on the Collingwood bench, if you can see much down there at the moment. They'd have to be panic-stricken as McCaffer clears defensive 50 with a pass to Blair. Swan kept running, receives a hand pass. Kicks towards half forward. Big Wits gets a bad bounce. Charging away from him is West, who throws it on the boot. Kicks off the side of the boot. It's still in play. Schroeder couldn't take the mark. Virtually handed it to Caddy right in front of our commentary position. Got it to Bartel. Bartel sums it up. Kicks inside 50. Hall and Smith slipped over, allowing O'Brien to mark. Do something, Harry. He runs into trouble. Has to get a hand pass off to Maxwell. And then he kicks to Blair, marking just behind the wing. But they're in trouble, the Pies.
And the kick up to Cracker, just forward of the wing. He steers the pass to Cloak on a fast lead, and he marks 65 from goal. Collingwood going to the punt road end in this third quarter. He squares the ball inside the centre square. Goes to Jolly. Hand pass to Cracker. Back to Jolly. There's no surety about him now, but the hand pass across to Reid, who goes bang! And right on the goal line there is Jimmy Bartel playing the role of forward and back, and he marks a centimetre inside the field of play.
How well has he gone after his first 10 minutes? Been absolutely superb. Enright marks front of the northern stand, kicks close to the boundary. And it goes out of bounds as Joel Selwood couldn't get a hand on it. And Thurlow was there at the back, also not able to claim it cleanly. Still at half back for the Cats, defending at the punt road end. Getting a hand on it, Blitzsav. Spills down to Joel Corey. Thought was ridden into the ground. He's on the bottom of the pack. In fact, he might have caught one high.
It's what you call will with Bartel. He's just saying, boys, jump on my back, come with me. I think Selwood's improved as well this quarter.
Corey's had a good one too. He's 22nd possession, averaging 21 for the season, the dual best and fairest. Corey kicks towards the wing, MCC member's side. From behind the big man. Blitzav's the steeplechaser. Pinched that away. And he kicks to half forward. Not able to take the mark was Hall and Smith. He receives a hand pass from Duncan. Now to Stokes. Hooks it around the body towards full forward. Pottiadley's there. Knocks it straight down to Maxwell for Collingwood. Kicks to half back. Guthrie makes a contest for the Cats. Great play by Stokes, who roved it and then was on the ground. Caught one high. Will take a free kick. It's all running with the Cats. They're at right half forward and they lead by 7 points.
No way that was a free kick. That's just an incidental touch, so they shouldn't pay those.
The Pies reckon they've had a rough deal. Free kicks are 17-6 in favour of the Cats. The kick deep inside the 50. A pack gathers. There's no mark. It comes down underneath. Swan, hand pass, doesn't find a target. Duncan slings it forward for the Cats. Bartel lays a big tackle on Harry O'Brien. And the umpire let it go. Ball spills out to Swan. And a hurried kick by Swan lands on the chest of Elliott up the ground at half back. 76-83. It's a 7-point lead to the Cats after the Pies led by 26 at half time. The hand pass down the line, chopped off by Enright, worked up the ground, taken by Schroeder. He's rolled to the turf. Crunching tackle laid by Seidman. It's high, says the umpire, because the bloke Duncan just ran straight through, expecting high contact. He got it, and the free kick.
Freo have just scored a goal, the SCG, to cut the margin to 9 points just before three-quarter time. Duncan's kick inside 50. Not a great kick. Straight to Jolly, who was in front of the pack. 30 out from the goal they're defending at the city end, Collingwood. Concedes territory back to Maxwell in the defensive goal square. They've got to try and calm it down. 28 gone in the third term. Coughed up a 26-point half-time lead. They're down by 7. He delivers, spreading it to O'Brien, close to the boundary. He clears defensive 50, not a great kick. Looking for Luke Ball, who needs the run. Enright right with it. Boundary throw and 55 out from Collingwood's defensive goal. Great Southern stand side. Boundary throw in. Jolly, Blitzavs, rowed by Joel Selwood. Gets the arms free to get a hand pass out to Mackie. He's at half forward. He kicked a long bomb earlier in the night. Pottiadley worked in front of his opponent. He's hung onto the mark and dropped short. Gee, read it well. Read it beautifully.
That's body strength. You just got to have some body strength. Push his opponent out. There was no way knowing that was a free kick. That was just sheer positioning and body strength on Brown, and he got a really good mark.
Well, if he didn't get marked, he should have got a free kick. You're right. They're the contests you love. It was just pure strength, and he was stronger than his opponent. You shouldn't get penalised for it.
So Pottiadley's 20 metres out. He's directly in front. He tried hard to miss it, but he doesn't. And the lead is out to 13 points. Geelong have kicked 8 goals to 2. Great to watch. 29 gone in the third term there. 13-11-89. Collingwood 11-10-76. Three-quarter time of the SCG. The Swans 8-3-51. The Dockers are 5-12-42.
Well, we spoke about him a couple of minutes ago, but Bartel, what a valuable asset to go forward. He can go back. He's gone in the midfield. Selwood stepped up. Corey stepped up. Mackey's been good. Stokes. You just keep naming them. It's been a fantastic quarter. Pods has worked into it well.
Here's the bounce. West comes over the top.
Oh, yeah.
Selwood charges straight in. He came to a dead end, bounced off an opponent, and Collingwood finally get a free kick. And listen to the fans. It's just their 7th of the night. The Cats have had 18. Free kick to O'Brien. Back edge of the square. Kicks the ball across the ground to Seedsman. He goes the short pass to Pendlebury. What a quarter it has been by the Cats. Don't blame the umpires. You've been outplayed. And Collingwood will think back to 2 other games earlier this year where they were more than in it at half-time and were blown away in the second half. Hawthorn beat them by 55. Essendon beat them on Anzac Day by 46. And those 2 games will haunt them. They've turned a 26-point lead at half-time into a 13-point deficit at three-quarter time. The Cats 13-11-89 to Collingwood 11 goals 10-76. For the Cats, Hawkins with 3 goals, Bartel 2, Christensen 2, Podsiadly 2, Motlop 2, and 1 each, Mackey and West. And for the Pies, their goals to Pendlebury has got 2, Elliott 2, Dwyer 2, and 1 goal each to Cracker, Lynch, Sidebottom, Cloak, and Seedsman. So at half-time, it is Geelong now, 13-11-89, looking to maintain their unbeaten record, leading Collingwood 11-10-76.
And three-quarter time, Sydney 8-3-51, Fremantle 5-12-42. In the NRL tonight, Penrith have annihilated the Warriors 62 points to 6. Another win for Sydney Roosters with their miserly defence doing the job again, 12 points to 8 over North Queensland. And in the all New South Wales affair, the Super Rugby between the Waratahs and the Brumbies, and the ACT Brumbies going through a bit of a form slump, going down to the Tars tonight, 28-22. This is Grandstand AFL on ABC Local Radio, Grandstand Digital, and also online. We should believe it because they're that sort of team. A poor first half, they were down by 26 at half time. They have just got on their bikes in the third quarter and pedalled furiously. Collingwood haven't gone with them. They've kicked 8 goals to 2. They've turned a 26-point deficit into a 13-point advantage, and they're going for 8 in a row to kick off the season. 13-11-89 Geelong, Collingwood 11-10-76, and they've just started the last quarter at the SCG. Sydney 8-3-51 leading the Dockers, who outscored them in that third term. The Dockers are 5-12-42. Dan Lonigan, Drew Morford, Mark McClure, Lindsay Gilby and Josh McDermott with you. Sellers and Lindsay, tell us about that third quarter. How good was it?
Oh, it was fantastic to watch. It was just amazing. But they just worked. They set up well, and we spoke about that in the break, that they just set up well. They allow Collingwood to push up the field. They don't mind them getting the ball in their back half. So what they do, they get them on the way back through, and they rely on that midfield pressure. But you have a look at their top possession winners: Stokes, Corey, Mackey, Bartel, and Enright. All the seasoned veterans, but the one stat that stands out to me, Andrew Mackey's had 8 inside 50s. As a defender, getting that, he's got on the scoreboard as well that quarter. So it was a fantastic quarter by the Geelong Footy Club.
Yeah, that's superb. And I think everyone on the ground enjoyed it. I don't care if you barrack for the Pies or whoever you barrack for. That was just awesome to watch. You could see them coming, you could see them building, and the opposition, who are a really good side, Collingwood, couldn't do anything about it. Don't tell me they don't have the similar talent. They have the same youth Collingwood have as Geelong have. But every time it goes in defence, Enright is just superb. Bartel's down there, Mackey's down there. Harry Taylor was super in that quarter, just pushing it back out. And then the tall started to take over. Podsiadly, Hawkins, young Christensen kicked 2 quickies in a row, which really turned the whole game. About 5 minutes into the third quarter, he went bang, bang, straight out of the middle, and all of a sudden there was just a rage then to how many they could get for the quarter, and Motlop got on board, Bartel got on board, Mackie got one on board. So, look, just terrific. Now, look, it's not over. The Pies can actually come back. Sometimes you have a rush like that, and then they run out of juice. I'm not certain that the Cats will do that, but have the Pies disheartened by it, or are they actually energised by it? And that's the difference between what will happen in this quarter. We'll see in 30 minutes' time if they're any good or not, the Pies.
Well, Josh is down on the boundary line. He might be able to indicate what they're going to do about it.
Thanks, Drew. Collingwood have made their substitution. Young ruckman Jared Witts has been subbed out of the game. So Ben Kennedy will come in. He'll provide a little bit of extra run for Collingwood, and they're going to need it if they're going to run over Geelong here in this last quarter.
That's certainly right, Josh. Jared Witt's still learning the caper. He's a big man, not quite there yet. And they will need Kennedy to try and help them in this last quarter. But whether it helps remains to be seen. Here's Drew Morford. Cats by 13.
Cats have got in front on possessions, contested possessions. The inside 50s are now level. They were being thrashed earlier on. Blitzavs gets a hand of the ball in the middle. It comes to McCaffer. Blitzavs becomes the tackler. And the umpire lets him sort it out for a good while before he blows it up and will throw it in the air. 89-76. Unbelievably, a 13-point lead to Geelong. Blitzavs gets a hand of this one as well. McCaffer tries one off the ground. It spills to Swan. There's a bit of an airy. They've worked the ball forward from the centre bounce without too many clean possessions. It was ripped away by Kennedy, the sub on the ground. He gets it out to Swan. Swan hoists it high to full forward. Come on, Quinton Lynch, do something. Well, he's worked off the ball, and Andrew Mackie takes another mark in defence.
Mackie kicks towards the half-back flank. Maxwell lost his opponent and then manages to deliver defensively to Seasman. On the outer side, he kicks inside 50, not a great kick, off hands. Andrew Mackie runs onto it again for the Cats, and he delivers now to Podsiadly just behind the wing, great southern stand side. Handballs to a stationary Christensen. Gets the hand pass out now towards Mackie in the direction of Podsiadly to Enright in the middle of the ground. Enright's scything kick to half forward. Hawkins had it fisted away by Reid. His big jolly running onto it. Then he runs into a tackle placed on him by Joel Corey. Slips to Reid. Collingwood under the pump at half back. Can they pick the footy up? Maxwell can. Throws it on the boot. Out to Swan. Swan's now on the MCC member side. Pops a little pass to Cloak, but he's a long way from home. Still behind the wing in front of our commentary position.
13-point lead to the Cats. Kick by Cloak, covers a good 60 metres. Lynch up, couldn't get his hands around the ball. The umpire said he got one over the shoulder, and he gets the free kick. 60 out from goal. Kicks down towards Cloak, doesn't quite reach him because Harry Taylor works in front. Gets some support from Blitzavs, and the defence works it out with a chain of hand passes. Back to Taylor. He kicks up towards centre wing. Clears Brown, comes through to Reid, and he hoofs the ball in towards the centre square, where the skipper Maxwell takes the mark, and they build again here, the Pies. His kick is good. It comes out to Dwyer. Dwyer's kick to the 50, out wide. Blair takes the mark. He's only about 3 paces in from the boundary line, and a long way from goal for Little Bloke.
Yeah, I can't see him making the distance here. And should be probably called to play on because he's not going to have a shot at it. He'll probably set it up in the pocket, hoping to get a stoppage.
Can you go back any further?
He's walked it back almost to
Dennis Lilly.
Richmond Railway Station.
Yes.
Little Jared Blair. Well, he gave us the impression he was going for goal, but he was never going to do that, and he centred the ball to Dwyer in the corridor, 45 out.
Very clever. Very clever young man. Just tricked us all.
It's a tough one to police, isn't it? Like, 30 seconds he has a shot for goal. He was never going to have a shot for goal. He was always going to pass it off. I know it's a hard one to judge, but, well, he played it smart.
Dwyer, the recruit from Port Melbourne in the VFL, 26-year-old. 7th game of AFL. He kicks from about 49 and has kicked it and has given the Pies a chance early in the last quarter. That's his 3rd.
And what the Pies required, they need a start. The first goal goes to them, and they're back in the game. They're only 7 points behind at this stage. And terrific goal. It was well thought out by Blair. Very smart how he just chipped it in there. And Dwyer was smart enough to get on his own. Sometimes finding space is difficult, especially when there's a million people around you. Good finish. Good start by the Pies. They need it.
The mature age recruit, after many years of Port Melbourne, getting his chance and taking it for the Magpies at the age of 26. Sydney with the first goal at the SCG. Their lead over Fremantle, a handy 14 points in that last quarter. Bounce in the middle. Blitzavs just beats Jolly. Overrunning at Swan, and Jolly tries to hag it off the ground. Taken by a little Kennedy just on the ground. Kicks off the side of the boot. But in the way, Stokes for Geelong. Wheels around, then delivers nicely to centre half back. Just outside defensive, 50 for Blitzavs. Corey's on his own. He'll look to hand pass over the top. It works for Thurlow. His pass is brilliant. Oh, they've found another one. And Hawkins marks it centre half forward. Having kicked a goal each term so far.
It was great play. He didn't blaze away, just led straight up at it and just lowered his eyes. It's a very easy kick. It's a 20 metre to a lead, and similar position when he kicked that goal against the Hawks.
So Tom Hawkins to get the goal back. It's Sam Dwyer, booted for Collingwood a minute or so ago. 3's fourth. 18th of the season, 52 out, launches accurately. What a goal! Geelong at 14-11-95 on Grandstand AFL. Collingwood work to do again, 12-10-82.
The good thing about Tom Hawkins, I think of years gone by, he had a brilliant year last year, but there'll be times where he'd come and kick 5 or 6 and then the next week he wouldn't touch it. The thing about what I really like about his game, which he's elevated, is consistency. A poor game for him, he chimes in with 3 goals at a bare minimum, and he's got 4 tonight and probably could finish with 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's kicked 4 straight tonight.
1 in each quarter.
19 goals for the season. And the margin back to 13 points. 6 minutes played last quarter. What a rib tickler. Jolly wins the hit out in the middle. It's overrun by Kennedy, but he's in there again. Paul Smith wrapped up in a great tackle. Goes to ground. The umpire comes in to throw it up again. 82 Collingwood, 95 Geelong. Geelong looking to get their 8th win in 8 rounds. Jolly taps this, taken by Blitzavs, who loses it. Back in the middle of the pack. Throw the handkerchief over where this ball's moved in the last minute. And now it's going to be a Geelong free kick, much to the disgust of the Collingwood fans. George Hall-Smith with the free, just behind the circles. He's going to go across the ground because he's found Harry Taylor a mile in the clear. He pokes up a little short pass, which is great football and a long lead. Duncan gets on the end of it and takes the mark alongside the circles.
So Duncan will have a kick to a player on his own. Josh Hunt, the comeback king.
He's in range.
Right half forward, he's well and truly in range.
Don't know what Quentin Lynch was thinking there. He just let his man go, and he's got he probably contributed. If this goes through, I'd put that down to his goal. He just let his player go. Didn't think.
Another big night for Matty Stokes. 28 possessions so far. Right half forward, he's 52 out. He doesn't even go for it. Kicks to the goal square. Podsiadly attacks it. Duncan's there, another fumble. Hasn't had a great night. He's held up in a tackle, 20 out from the goal. He's attacking at the punt road end for Geelong. There'll be a baller.
That was strange. He was definitely in range. He just poked at it and got to almost the goal line.
Yeah.
Thrown up. Jolly beats Blitzavs. Down to Pendlebury. Tackle by Corey. Falls to Dwyer.
Oh, no.
Under pressure. Kicks high. Going nowhere. Through the hands of Guthrie at the back row by Thurlow to Hunt. Kicks around the body. Good fisting away by the Pies defence, led by Sidebottom. Spills to Taylor on the MCC members' wing. Cuts inside of the foot pass. And Duncan looking to make amends now at left half forward.
He's about 70 metres from goal. The Cats coming home to the punt road end in the last quarter. The kick by Duncan, low and hard.
Another bad kick.
Yeah, doesn't quite hit a target. Reed is there to get it out of there. Kept alive by Motlop. Now Guthrie with the outside of his boot up towards the goal square. Punched down by Maxwell for Collingwood. But it comes here in front of the pack to Caddy. Kick goes nowhere. Dwyer gets boot the ball but doesn't clear the area. Selwood over the top of it, fighting hard. Jams it out the back door. Duncan throws himself at it, just outside the 50 now. Now somebody under the bottom of the pack not doing enough to get it out. It will be thrown in the air. 14-11 Geelong, 12-10 Collingwood. Margin 13 points.
It'll be cleared, maybe. Not really, I thought, in the end, because it was tapped down and then a number of players around the contest, and Schroeder got tackled front on for Geelong. It'll be thrown up again, same spot as it was 20 seconds ago at centre half forward for the Cats. Missed by Schroeder. He lays a tackle on Pendlebury, has to get rid of it in a hurry. Bodies everywhere, still at centre half forward for the Cats. Maxwell tried to hack it. He lost it. And then he lays a pretty good tackle, still at centre half forward for Geelong.
I love this because they will not let them out. They will not let the Pies get the ball out. They will not give them a free ball or a free contest in any way.
They're 13 points in front. West shoved Jolly in the back. That was as obvious.
And
as the fact I've got no hair on my head. The free kick then given to Jolly. A hand pass to Seaman. Now to Ball. Seaman giving them run. Motlop's after him. Handballs to Kennedy. It was accosted. Seaman got it back. He butted up well. Good hands to Cracker. Likewise to Pendlebury. Kicks to centre half forward. Dwyer nearly had that. Sockers away from Bartel. Runs after it again. He deserves a goal. Good tackle later on. He bites Thurlow. Taylor picks it up. Handballs to Mackie. Gets stripped in a tackle. Great contest. Collingwood into attack, but Geelong's going to get a free kick.
That's not right.
And Pie supporters are bluing.
That's not right. There was one before that or two before that.
Did Dwyer have it when he was bowled over?
No.
Mackie takes the free kick from the last line. A big leap over there by Reid. And it's a Collingwood free kick to Reid in the marking contest. In between wing and half forward. Southern stand side of the ground. Kick low and hard to the 50. No mark to Cloak, comes to the back. Taylor gathers for the Cats. Short pass into Guthrie. Near the behind post. They've got the length of the field to go. Bit of forward press here by Collingwood would be handy for them. And the short pass finds Duncan. Still behind half-back. 13-point lead to the Cats. He gets it to the 50, but they've turned it over. It missed the target, Corey. Here comes Harry O'Brien on the gallop and kicks. It was going right through the middle, and it was touched right on the line, the last line by Mackie, just as it was going through for a 6-pointer, and he rushes it behind 1 point.
He's been amazing tonight. He's doing it at both ends. Mentioned he had 8 inside 50s at three-quarter time. Now he's saving the goals. He's been fantastic.
25 possessions. Goal to Fremantle. Margin back to 21. Favour of Sydney. It'll come back here for Collingwood as Brown marks on the outer side. Left half forward, 60 from goal, heading to the city end. Steers it to within 40, but Corey comes across in front of Jared Blair. Takes a face-saving mark for the Cats and then dabs a little foot pass to Joel Selwood. Selwood kicks in the direction of Bartel, may have been pushed forward in his endeavours to mark. I think he was. He'll get the free kick. He's at half-back for the Cats. And he'll deliver to Mackie, who marks just outside the centre square. Geelong still in defence. Handball's back to Bartel. Now he's in the middle of the ground. Kicks towards half forward. Duncan couldn't take the mark. May have had the hands chopped. The umpire let that one go. Collingwood supporters will be delighted for the time being. Then there's a bit of tackling. A couple of players caught up in standing tackles in the middle. Attacking side of the centre square for the Cats. And their lead. 2 goals, 12 gone. Final quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Thrown up inside the centre square. Won by West, but doesn't clear the area. The umpire will have to throw it up once more. Pies led by 18 at quarter time, 26 at half time, but they were overrun in the third quarter. The Cats led by 13 at the last change. The margin is now 12. It is cleared by Dwyer, who's had a good night, kicked 4 goals. His hand pass into the bullseye, and it might be a push in the back or a holding the ball. The umpire decided neither, and he let it go. Comes forward. O'Brien gets back there for Collingwood. His hand pass to Seedsman. Off to Dwyer. He balked to go one way, then came inboard. To Brown. To O'Brien. Long kick. Cloak outnumbered. The kick clears him and bounces end on end to the goal square. Cracker gets there, but too late. I think it ran over the behind line. No, he's kept it alive. He's back in the field of play. He gets a high tackle. He runs on ahead of the mark and kicks the goal while they were still bluing about the decision. A goal to Cracker, and the margin back to 6 points.
Well, I'd love to see a replay. I wasn't sure to see if it was there. But nonetheless, it's a goal. Brings it obviously now within a kick, 6 points of difference, 89-95. So it's going to be really looking forward to the end of this game. I think it's going to be a cracker.
It was a really good arm wrestle there for a long, long time. And then the Pies broke it. They broke it with a bit of dare. They pushed it up there. They just kept fighting away. They haven't been fantastic. They're still testing Geelong. They're not out of the game, the Pies. Don't give up on them. They're not out of it.
Just going back on that, he actually should have got brought behind the mark. He played on in front of the mark.
Yeah, and you could make a case for the ball having gone over the behind line as well.
66,768 have seen this match. Collingwood within a goal. Swan takes the mark as Geelong hacked it from the middle of the ground. He's at half back. Waddles his way with a dabbing kick to Pendlebury on the MCC members' wing. Kicks wide to side bottom, three of their best players. Averaging 22 possessions before tonight, side bottom. Delivers in short the ball. Good to have him back. Kicks Collingwood to half forward. Great kick, and on the lead, Cloak marks. Left half forward, he likes them out here. Closer to the boundary, the better, but he's still 70 from goal.
They're gaining confidence. They're chipping the ball around, holding the ball.
Off the side of the boot with that attempted torpedo punt. Lands in the lap, but Posey Adley would have said thank you very much. Delivers now to Stokes, and the Cats are on the burst.
Well, as soon as they didn't chip it around, they absolutely coughed it up. Here's Selwood, outnumbered 2-1. Russell is there. Selwood works to the boundary line with Swan. The ball goes out of play, and we have a throw in. Terrific contest. It is 6 points the margin. Can Collingwood be the team to bring the Cats unstuck for the first time this year? Hits one by West, but it comes to Pendlebury. Gets the hand pass away to Dwyer. Back to Pendlebury. Back to Dwyer. Now Seedsman out in a bit of space out on the members' wing. Takes the mark. Has a couple of bounces. Might have a third. He goes long to full forward. This is terrific. Elliott runs onto this ball. Gets there in the square. Sockers it home for a goal. And the score's a level.
Well, what a kick. What a kick. That was just out in front. That's what Seedsman brings. Depth in his kicking. He actually wasn't going to hit Elliott then. He just put it out in front, let his speed do the rest, and just an easy goal in the end.
They will not be denied, the Pies. They want to finish. They want to win well. They won the first two quarters. Can they win the last to win this game?
Well, have Geelong spent too many petrol tickets this time and getting themselves back into a 26 down at half time? They kicked 8 goals to 2 to lead at three-quarter time by 13 points. Collingwood have kicked 3 goals to 1 in this last quarter. 14-11, 95 apiece. 17 gone last quarter. West taps it down and then roves it. Handballs defensively to Joel Selwood. Has to whack it on. O'Brien's in the road. Gets tackled. It's knocked down by West again to Stokes. He runs into O'Brien. Runs into him front on. Very crudely, and O'Brien with the free kick. Flares at the cracker on the MCC members' wing. Kicks Collingwood to Blair. Attacking side of the wing. Heading towards the city end. Scores level. Blair has nothing on offer up the ground. Has to go backwards to a loose man in Reid. The most defensive man on the field. For Collingwood, he delivers now to O'Brien, who marks on the great southern stand wing.
And he kicks up short of the 50, where the mark's juggled by McCaffer and held by McCaffer. Pies have kicked 3 of the last 4 goals. He puts it into a dangerous spot. Blair up, but can't take the mark, the little fella. It spills to Elliott. His hand pass back. Comes to Kennedy, the sub, out wide, 40 metres from goal. Back to the goal square. Side bottom is there. They have some numbers. Side bottom with Cracker. Cracker lays a great tackle. It's socket out of there, but hasn't cleared the area. Back to side bottom. Short pass. Well, he looked for Jolly, but the ball is chopped off by Stokes. Fighting out of his weight division, and Stokes the short pass up to Hawkins, who marks at halfback.
Fingertip of Hawkins. Goes inside now to Hunt. Scores level. Josh Hunt, who came on early when Smets was subbed out. Feeds a hand pass over the top to Selwood. Now to Taylor, still behind the wing on the MCC member side. We've played 19 minutes in the term. Taylor has to kick it high as his opponent ran at him. Looking to take the mark. Through his fingers, though, Caddy. At the back, mopped up by Williams. Handballs to Seisman. Sidesteps the tackle. Back to Blair. Lost control of the ball. Well tackled by Schroeder. Turnover. This is important. Stokes to Joel Selwood. Turnover again. His handball straight to bodies. Duncan's there for Geelong. Feeds it out to Taylor. Taps to his own advantage. Handball's in front of him. Only as far as Pendlebury. Looking to run onto it. Schroeder shunts him to ground. There's Russell lending support for Collingwood. Back to Seisman, close to the boundary. Rolls at the ball. Ball kicks off the side of the boot. Straight to Taylor. Look to slap it down. Intercepted brilliantly by Sidebottom. Cloak's got it for the Pies. That was important. Collingwood in possession.
He's a long way out and too far out to score. Into Dwyer, who goes from 55 and down to the pocket. How did he get there? Sidebottom. But he couldn't take the mark under pressure. Ball spills to Thurlow. His hand pass is smothered, but he regains and kicks Geelong outside the 50. The scores are level. Dwyer's there again, first-year player. Sweeps the hand pass up to Brown. Off the left towards the pocket. Cloak in the middle. Can't take the mark, and it's punched away over the boundary line. And we have a throw-in the forward pocket. 14-11, 95 each at the 20-minute mark of the last quarter.
Oh, this is our game at the best. At its best it is. This is our game. Fantastic.
Fremantle, a couple of late goals within 7 points of Sydney. 2 close ones on a Saturday night. O'Brien from the boundary throw-in tried to get it to Sidebottom to Dwyer's kick 4. He snaps to put them in front to the goal square. Geelong with numbers. Taylor couldn't mark it. Knocks it through, but the Pies are in front. They're doing all the attacking. 14-12, 96. Cats have stopped their 14-11, 95 at the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, the game's been played on Collingwood's forward line at the moment. Enright marks the kick in. The hand pass across to Taylor. He kicks long to centre wing. Russell stands his ground to take the mark for Collingwood. Once again, they don't let the ball get into Geelong's forward line. Into Dwyer has been absolutely sensational. Near the circles, goes for the short pass. Mark taken by Kennedy, the sub. Hand pass to Pendlebury, who was brilliant early. Not quite so much now. He kicks inside the 50. Excellent mark taken by Guthrie in defence for the Cats. 96-95. The Pies lead by a point. 21 minutes played last quarter.
He kicks in short to Enright. Still inside defensive 50. Great Southern stand side. Look to kick it. Has to handball to Guthrie, who is flat-footed now. He gets going. Kicks to a one-on-one contest. Mark not taken, but at ground level Geelong have numbers. Picked up by Hall and Smith. Handballs to Taylor. He skids a kick in the direction of Caddy at half forward. Got tackled, lost control of it. Williams boots it away. Good play for Collingwood. They can win this through Cloak. He wins the footy at ground level on the MCC members wing. Got it to Blair. Pops it over the top. McCaffrey runs into space. Has a player on his own if he didn't get it to him. He can. It's Elliott. He takes the mark. 45 out. Plays on. Kicks to Cracker. He's on a pretty acute angle though.
Not for him, it's not. Not for
Correct.
him.
Hard on the boundary. Looking to open up the angle at the 22-minute mark. This to give Collingwood a valuable 7-point lead. He's outside the boundary now. Andrew Cracker in the forward pocket at the City end on the MCC member side. Runs around, snaps, goals. Collingwood by 7 points. He's kicked 3. And they're 15-12, 102. The Cats 14-11, 95 on Grandstand AFL. What a thriller. The Dockers have kicked another one there within a point of Sydney at the SCG. Wow.
Well, you spoke about that, Dan. The Cats might have used their petrol tickets, but Cracker just thought his way through that perfectly then. He didn't stepped out a little bit. He's probably done that a million times at training. He was never in doubt.
In this last quarter, Collingwood have kicked 4 goals to 1 goal. The Cats have kicked just 1 score in this last quarter. They can't get it inside their forward 50. Pies lead by 7 points. Bounce in the middle. A real scrap in the bullseye. It's gouged out to Stokes. Ridden into the ground in the tackle. The umpire will throw it up. Gee, Collingwood looked little chance after they were blown away in the third quarter. Third man up, Bartell. It's tapped on by Hawkins. Running onto it's Corey. He goes to ground, but he gets Harry Taylor. The hand pass to Selwood. They're inside 50. A rare time here, but the kick is wide and bounces out of bounds in the forward pocket at the punt road end for a throw-in. We're at the 24-minute mark, and it is a 7-point lead to Collingwood.
Geelong to attack at the punt road end. They need one here. Jolly taps it down to the front of the pack. Motlop on hands and knees, tries to gouge out a hand pass. Eventually successful, but doesn't go very far. Young Thurlow showing a bit tonight. Blitzavs as well is in there. And it's a ball up. He taps it down. Straight into bodies. He tries to kick through traffic, going nowhere in a hurry. 25 out from Geelong's goal. Collingwood's defensive structures in place at the moment. Scores level now at the SCG, 70 apiece. Geelong trailing by 7 points here at the MCG.
Cats need to score twice. They're on the forward line, but O'Brien clears out of defence for the Pies. The mark's taken in the circles by Mackie, who's been brilliant. Off to Josh Hunt, who kicks it long. Podgiadli! Oh, it slipped through his fingertips, but it is socked off the ground for a goal by Jimmy Bartell.
It's a point.
Wow.
It's only a point. There are arms and legs everywhere. Did he miss, or was it touched off the boot? It was touched right on the line as it was going through for a goal. So it is one kick the difference, and we've got about a minute and a half to play.
Russell to the outer side of the ground. Big mark in front for the Pies. Cloak has done a great job to take this mark. He'll take his time as well. He's claiming he's got a bit of cramp. Doesn't last too long. We'll hoist it down the Great Southern Stand side towards a big contest. No one can take the mark. Off hands and out of bounds. Valuable meterage for the Pies between wing and half forward. Heading towards the city end. What a great last quarter it's been. They've kicked 4 goals to 1. They lead by 6 points. Boundary throw in. Fisted down by Cloak. In the road, Schroeder. Now Geelong have it through. Corey too slow. Has to get the hand pass out to Mackie. He got it from him originally. He's been pinged for holding the ball. Joel Corey. Free kick to Jared Blair for the Pies. They lead by a goal. They might hang on here. 26 gone.
Yeah, good ploy. Close game last night in Perth. Close games tonight in Sydney and Melbourne. The kick backwards to the centre wing to Swan. Now inboard he comes to Seedsman, and they're going to play keepings off here, Collingwood, surely. Just keep possession football. The pass forward to the wing, and O'Brien takes the mark just inside the boundary line. They lead by 6 points, Collingwood. It looks like Geelong are going to lose their first game for the season. The kick by O'Brien, down towards the 50, close to the boundary line and knocked over by Jolly, and we get a boundary throw in. The clock stops. And there's not enough time, I don't think, for Geelong to get it 2/3 of the length of the ground. West wins the hit out, though. It comes underneath. Blair fights hard for the ball. Throw a blanket over 20 players. Free kick Geelong's way. Dan, bring us home.
Siren! Collingwood have won! They've inflicted the Cats' first loss of the season. Wonderful effort by the Pies. You'll love this.
They stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barrackers are shouting as all barrackers shout. For the premiership's a king, for the good old Collingwood.
Well, while we've had Collingwood inflict Geelong's first loss of the season here at the MCG, Fremantle have stormed home to draw with Sydney at the SCG. More on that shortly, but the Pies 15-12, 102. Geelong 14-12, 96. Collingwood started well. They led by 18 at quarter time, 26 at half time. Geelong kicked 8 goals to 2 in the third quarter. Seemed to run out of legs in the last as the Pies kicked 4 goals to 1 to record a memorable victory and stay in the 8th. supporters on their feet. A crowd of 66,768. And what a result for Collingwood. They showed great character. They looked gone at three-quarter time, but they finished all over the Cats, who gave the Pies too much of a start. They reeled them in, but they couldn't keep going in the final quarter. 15-12, 102 Collingwood. Geelong 14-12, 96. And at the SCG, a big last quarter by the Dockers, a big last 10 minutes. They were 21 points down, and they had a chance through Michael Johnson to win the game. But Sam Reid marked right on the last line of defence, and the Swans get 2 points, as do the Dockers 11-4-70. Fremantle 9-16-70. The goal kickers for Collingwood, as their players are heading towards the Collingwood Social Club end, who are in raptures with one of their big wins in recent times, certainly their biggest win of the season so far. What an effort it was. Cracker, great job tonight. He kicked 3. Elliott kicked 3. Dwyer, though, kicked 4. He was the star. So 4 to Dwyer, 3 each to Cracker and Elliott. Pendlebury kicked 2, 1 apiece. Lynch, side bottom, and also Travis Cloak, along with Paul Seaman, who was superb with his run tonight. For Geelong, it all happened in the third quarter. Hawkins, though, he kicked 4, kicked their only goal of the final quarter. 2 apiece to Christensen, to Podsy Adley, and also to Stephen Motlop and Jimmy Bartell. 1 each to Mackie, to West, in a performance that Geelong will be disappointed with. They were great in the third quarter, but outplayed by Collingwood in 3 quarters. The Pies winning by a goal, and they're heading down the rooms now. But Mark and Lindsay, before we get down to Josh, what a performance by Collingwood.
Oh, that was sensational. And at three-quarter time, they were looking down the barrel of getting smashed. But they've set up the win with their start. They set up the win by a really good first quarter, where they kicked 5, and they kicked 4 in their second quarter, and they led the competition, led the opposition at half-time by a reasonable margin of 26 points, and then got blown away, like absolutely blown out of the water, 8-2 in the third quarter, and then had the guts and the gumption to come back and do it again, and that was done really by Cracker.
Let's get down to the Collingwood rooms. Josh McDermott.
Thanks, Dan. Obviously delighted Collingwood Footy Club. The coaches probably showed more emotion when they came in. They were yelling and screaming. The boys are a little bit more subdued in their response. They've a little bit of relief, I think, that they managed to hold on there at the end. They're pretty happy now, though. They're about to sing the song.
Very robust rendition of the Collingwood theme song. We'll get back to Josh shortly. I had Sam Dwyer kicking 4. He kicked 3, but he was undoubtedly one of their best players. He was superb.
He was sensational last quarter. But Cracker got the last couple of goals. It really made a massive difference. He just floats around. He doesn't look like he's doing much, but all of a sudden he's lethal goals at the end. They were really terrific in the end. They just controlled the ball very well. Harry O'Brien's the best game I've seen Harry O'Brien play in 5 years, and I was really proud of how he went about it. He had a hell of a lot. He had 14 contested possessions. Terrific stuff the way they went about it. They got 8 kids in that side, 8 or 9 kids. Seedsman, Josh Thomas, Witts. You can throw in Kennedy, Ben Kennedy, Sam Dwyer, Jamie Elliott, Marley Williams. Amazing, and no different to actually what happened with Geelong. This was a super game of football. If you want to come and watch a game of football at its best, this was one side who fought back after actually being blown away, having the guts and actually to stand up and fight against the best side in the competition, I would say. Best side I love to watch is the Cats. I love watching them play. I really do. And if you want to watch footy at their best, this was a game to see. Get the replay. It was super. Cats were great too. They just didn't have a good start, and that killed them at the end.
One poor first half too many, Lindsay, for the Cats today?
Yeah, I think that's come back to bite them on the bum. You can't really as good as they are, you can't rely on giving team starts like that. And Collingwood obviously almost squandered that in the third quarter, but they fought back well. And you said it during that fourth quarter, Dan, that they used their petrol tickets.
Let's get down to Sam Dwyer. He's with Josh McDermott.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, got Sam Dwyer down here. Sam, great performance today. He must be so rapt to get a win over Geelong. Tight game. They fought back at you in the end there, as you would have expected, but you managed to hold on. How did you find the game?
Yeah, it was a really intense game. We really set ourselves, after a poor performance last week, to come out and set the tone early, which we did. We just had a little lapse there in the third quarter, but the boys fought it out well, and yeah, we managed to get the win, which was a real positive.
And you must have known that Geelong were going to come back at you after half time. How are you feeling when they did get that run on? Did you still feel like you had it in you?
Yeah, we knew that they were going to, being the side that they are, we knew they were going to come back hard at us, and we just had to stick to our structures and what we planned, and it paid off for us.
Boys, we'll just have to leave it there. Sam's just been called into a meeting, so we'll see if we can get someone a little bit shortly.
Thanks, Josh.
Well done, Josh. Sam Dwyer has had 27 27 here tonight, 8 of them contested. He played a ripping game and kicked 3 goals.
He's living the dream, mate.
Yeah.
How good's this?
It's better than Port Melbourne.
Port Melbourne, no one there. Come here, 73,000, having a ball, getting a kick.
That's
How
what
good's that?
That's what I was
Taken
really
7 years for someone to pick him up. 7 years of development at Port
and a
Melbourne.
bit of state footy. I think he's even chimed in with a couple of best and fairest. So he hasn't just come in. He's just given them. His output is fantastic. He's getting on the scoreboard. His second halves, his fitness, he's a real fit player. I've played on him before. He just darts around. His leg speed, he changes directions with his legs. He gets on the scoreboard. He's been a very, very valuable contributor.
Hey, Lindsay, there's more of them around. And
there are.
And we've got to find them. And we've got to put them out there, because the kids aren't up to it at the early stage, and it takes them 1 or 2 years to get up. These kids are ready to go. And he's one of those, Sam Dwyer.
I see it.
It's a great story.
I see it at Scotch. I still play at Scotch. I know it's at a low level, but you think these kids, if they got given the opportunity to be professional players 7 days a week, develop, there are gems out there.
The fitness and strength is the key, and having the confidence to be able to run out a game like he does now. He's really on top of his game, isn't he?
Yep, he's definitely on top of it. I'd put him in probably top 2 or 3 players for Collingwood this year, and to have an impact like he has at 26, but not even to come in at the level, but really, I think he's been dominating. It's just a great pathway for other players.
His last quarter there was sensational.
Unbelievable.
I think he got him over the line. I think him and Cracker, their leg speed, got him over the line that last quarter.
Cats looked a bit slow in the last quarter. In fact, they looked tired, didn't they? That third quarter was scintillating. They just had nothing left tonight.
Yeah, that took it out of them. And as good as that, we never write the Cats off. And they were probably, 12, 13 points up with maybe 5-10 minutes to go. And Collingwood just choked them. They had it. Their pressure was back. They kept it in their forward half, which allows them to get back on the scoreboard.
Momentum swing. They just got hold of the ball. They couldn't get it back. They just could not get it back. And when they did, they made a mess of it instead of actually being clean like they were earlier in the game. So,
what about
it's a great game of footy. I love watching Collingwood win this, because they were beaten on the tackle count, free kick count, and they were roaring and screaming and bellowing about it.
Free kicks were 22-12.
Yeah.
So the Uppies got booed off the ground even though Collingwood won.
It doesn't worry them. They go off if they've had 50 free kicks. Wouldn't matter. But I thought that was the character-building performance by them. Really big character-building performance with a bunch of kids in the team who stood up really well against the best side in the competition.
And I mentioned earlier, Lindsay, Nathan Buckley was seething. I mean, you don't see him normally get as pumped up as he did after a loss. But he was last week, and rightly so. And the players have managed to respond to that and do a great job this evening.
Well, that has to be the template going forward, doesn't it? Their effort, their intensity, their attack on the footy, their run and carry. If that isn't a template to go forward for the rest of the season, I don't know what is.
Well, they've set a standard.
Yeah.
Don't go below it.
No.
Sometimes you do. You vary you can't vary in effort, but you can vary in performance, and not by minute amounts. If they can get anywhere near that, they're going to have a really good year.
Collingwood by 6 points and a draw at the SCG. I mentioned that Sydney were 21 points up, deep into time on Fremantle, as they do. They strangled teams, and then under Ross Lyon, they got them on the counter-attack and almost got over the line. Michael Johnson had a late shot that Sam Reid marked right on the line. So Sydney will be a bit disappointed they couldn't win that at the SCG, going through a bit of a flat spot at the moment. Both teams now 5 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Still looking pretty good, but I think Sydney will be disappointed they couldn't win from 21 points up.
That's some close games.
Oh,
close games this
how
week,
good is this game?
Friday night.
2-pointer in Perth,
Yeah.
6-pointer here, and a draw in Sydney.
And a good game at the Docklands today.
Yeah,
League
the league changed
all
18
day.
times.
Yeah.
So, wow. This is just a super season now. We're actually finding out some footy's good. I think the changes to the rules have actually helped the football flow better in some occasions. We got some worrying things, but we always got a worrying thing about something. But I look at the footy's back, and it's been terrific.
Yeah, it sure has.
It actually might do the Cats a lot of harm.
No.
They play Port Adelaide next, then they've got the Gold Coast and GWS. I'm tipping in the next 3 weeks they'll be rotating a few blokes.
And I think they've got about 8 to 9 games on the run home down at Cardinia Park. So you'll find that they'll get that back, and they'll what's that? They got 5, is it? 5 to come home on the way home.
Their first game is when they turn the lights on for the first time.
A couple of weeks' time.
What's that, round 10?
Yeah.
And then they have this rush of games at home after that.
Well, they're back in the 8, the Pies, but we mentioned their percentage, 96.4, still a worry, 5 wins, 3 losses. Richmond will go ahead of them should they will beat Melbourne tomorrow, and they'll beat them quite comfortably and get a big percentage booster. But
Don't be certain.
It was all about having a win. Oh, come on. Nothing is more certain than Richmond annihilating Melbourne tomorrow, I would have thought. But anyway, we didn't think that Collingwood could beat Geelong on form tonight, and they did.
Do you think Brisbane could win?
No chance. But, come on.
You know what?
How about a Melbourne game?
Bad. Don't worry about it. Unless they're insignificant, forget them. I actually tipped Collingwood on my tips. I did them about 2 months ago, the whole lot, did the whole year. And I thought, I'm going to change this, and I thought, no, I can't. I can't. So I got a winner there. I couldn't believe it.
You did the whole year 2 months ago?
Yeah, why not? It's 8 weeks to start of the year, did the whole year.
Care factor, 0.
None.
With everything. That's why we love you. Collingwood 15-12, 102. Geelong 14-12, 96. Sydney 11-4, 70, drawing with the fast finishing Fremantle 9-16, 70. In the NRL, Penrith 2 wins in a row. They destroyed the Warriors 62 points to 6. And the Sydney Roosters going well. They remain in the top 2 with their win over North Queensland, 12 points to 8. In the Super Rugby, an upset there. The Waratahs from New South Wales beat one of the top teams, the ACT Brumbies, 28 points to 22. We'd love to hear from you. 1300 222 774. We'll get back and hear from Sam Dwyer with Josh McDermott after their meeting very shortly.
One thing I'd like to wonder is where was the crowd tonight? 66,000. As I said before the game started, since 2007, these teams at the MCG have averaged 83,000. Surely there was a lot on the line for both clubs tonight. Why weren't they here?
I don't think the Collingwood, probably faithful, thought they were actually a chance of winning.
Well, shame on you, all of you.
Yeah, so...
Maybe. Sorry.
No, I think it was just a fantastic... I think 66,000 got their money's worth tonight. 2 great teams, and it was a fantastic spectacle.
We were here, and we loved it.
Yeah.
So
And
it was cold, don't forget. It's pretty chilly out there.
Yeah, it is.
They missed out.
There'll be a lot of people saying, geez, I should have gone. I got my membership. I didn't bother going.
No, I agree. Actually, we haven't talked much about Geelong, and I really wanted to talk about some of their kids. Billy Smets and Motlop and Caddy, Guthrie. I mean, they got some youth as well, you know. I mean, Thurlow, Schroeder, you can throw in Blitzavs. I mean, these are 2 sides who are in a transition stage of actually changing over, but they're still at the top of their game. It's a very good effort by both clubs to be able to get them up to that sort of level so quickly and be contributors in a game like this.
Well, they had 10 players who played less than 50 games, Geelong. It's incredible. All those experienced campaigners, and still missing James Kelly, Paul Chapman, Travis Barco. I reckon Nathan Vardy's in their best 22, so they've still got some good players to come back into that side, Geelong.
So is Collingwood.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what's so good about it, yeah.
You know, Heath Shaw was suspended and Daisy Thomas was out this week, and we're not too sure how many weeks he is going to be out. They started to talk about 2, but there's a bit of a suggestion might be more than that.
Is your love affair still strong with him, Drew?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah, I'm consistent. But there's a lot of them in the competition. He's not the only one.
Big game next week against the Swans here at the MCG, and Sydney are just going at the moment.
I just going back on both teams, I think a real key important ingredient is having your own VFL side, and Collingwood and Geelong have got it. So what happens is they play under a really good system. So every kid that comes in for either side play well. They don't take 10, 20 games to adapt. They come in and they adapt to it straight away. Guthrie, Motlop, Duncan, Smeds, Schroeder, Thurlow, Hall and Smith, Taylor Hunt, who wasn't playing tonight, Caddy. I think having your VFL side under the same banner as the senior team, it's just so valuable.
And it was a good VFL side. They won it last year, didn't they, Dan?
They did. They were outstanding, and players like Schroeder.
Hall and Smith got the medal.
Yeah, he did. He was superb. Burberry and Kirsten were emergencies, and they were very good players. Burberry in particular was on the rookie list, boy from Tasmania, showed plenty. So they just had these players able to come in and able to perform a role.
Hey, Dan, after if you had the seconds and you actually put them on here beforehand, which is not going to hurt the grounds because they're so good at keeping them the way they are, you'd actually have more people inside the ground earlier. They'd be in here to watch their kids and watch the youth come through. They love it. The caterers would get more money. The grounds would get more money. It's a money building thing.
It's not going to wreck the surface.
No way, no.
It's just not going to wreck it. I remember as a kid used to get here at 12 o'clock to watch the twos play because you'd sit there and you get a whole till 6 o'clock. You get footy and then you come and kick the ball on the arena after the game and.
Yeah.
I
this
just
business
love
of the warm-up out on the ground is ridiculous. You can do it in the room.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually, your mate Terry Wallace started that, didn't he?
Did he? Well, I think it was a bit before my time. I think that's when he tried to revolution footies in the 96-97 season.
Yeah, 97 he did. I remember Ramiro was out there on his own.
I think he was
day.
the one who pioneered it.
He was the one, definitely, because Ramiro started doing it on his own. I remember one day
he pioneered
at the
a couple
MCG.
of things too. He pioneered the flood as well. That night against the Bombers.
Do we thank him for any of them?
We should be happy about that,
No, I don't think so.
Should be casting.
But he only did that for one game, though.
Yeah,
try and restrict their influence.
It got a lot of publicity.
They thought they'd win. Anyway, it's a long
he
time
loved that.
ago. Oh, he
did,
loved it.
Terry. That was right down his alley.
The talkback number 1300 222 774, and I'm sure Collingwood supporters will be on the dog and bone and happy to have a chat to us after an heroic victory where they led by 26 at half-time. They lost the lead with Geelong's blitzing third quarter, kicking 8 goals to 2. And then they found their way home down by 13 at three-quarter time to get over the line, 15-12-102 to 14-12-96. A drawn match at the SCG, the first one of the season. 11-4-70 for Sydney, 9-16-70 for the Fremantle Dockers. Drew, we better check some of the stats, and there were some big numbers tonight.
Yeah, it was interesting. Collingwood were a mile in front in the early part of the game. Then Geelong overhauled them, and in the last quarter, Collingwood went to a lead again, 378 possessions to 359. So a bit of a margin at the end. The inside 50s finished up being 59 to 48 in favour of the Pies. They absolutely dominated the inside 50s in the last quarter to sprint away again. Some of the individuals. Pendlebury, 31 possessions, 16 kicks, 15 hand passes. 10 of his possessions were contested, 4 times inside 50. Harry O'Brien, rebounding out of defence, 31 possessions, 14 of them contested. Terrific game by Harry. Swan, 29 possessions with 11 contested. Dwyer, we've talked about him and we spoke to him briefly before he was whipped away for the meeting. 27 possessions. He had 16 kicks, 11 hand passes, 8 contested possessions and 4 inside 50s, and he kicked 3 goals straight. Sidebottom with 23 possessions. I'd like to know his goal assist because he seemed to be in the area where he could set up goals time and time again. 23 possessions for Sidebottom. Blair with 23. Andy Cracker with 19. He kicked 3 goals, 1 and 2 goals in the last quarter were crucial to Collingwood's win. Seedsman, what a kick it was in the last quarter. He kicked it a mile and the ball bounced onto the goal square and Elliott got on the end of it and socketed it through for a goal. Seedsman, 19 possessions. Elliott himself, 17. Cloak, 17 possessions and he took 13 marks, the most by any Collingwood player by a long, long way. In fact, Corey Enright was the only bloke who got close to him. He took 12. For the Cats, Stokes led the way with 31 possessions to be equal with Pendlebury. 14 of them were contested, 5 inside 50s. He laid 4 tackles as well. Joel Corey, the veteran, keeps on going. 30 possessions for him, mostly by hand. 9 kicks, 21 hand passes, 14 contested. Mackie, 28 possessions, and with his 8 inside 50s, no mean feat for a defender. Enright, 24. Bartell, 23. Harry Taylor with 21. Selwood 20. Might be a bit below his usual output, but some of the death-defying things that he did was incredible to watch. 12 contested out of his 20 possessions all up.
Well, he put his body on the line, Selwood, a few times in the last quarter, but got well held early. He is averaging around 24 possessions a game before tonight. 1300 222 774, the number to give us a call and ask Mark McClure and Lindsay Gilbey anything you like. 3 games to go tomorrow to complete round 8. A crucial game for Carlton after their disappointment against the Saints last week. They've won 3 and lost 4. They take on Port Adelaide, who've dropped their last 2 after a great start to the year. And that is our early match on Grandstand. Regular updates of Richmond and Melbourne. And then the twilight fixture, also an important game in regard to final 8 aspirations for Adelaide, hosting St Kilda at Football Park.
Yeah. Hopefully it's going to continue as it has the last few nights. And, I agree with you. I think footy's at its greatest at the moment. I think just after watching games like today and especially tonight and last night's game, I thought was a beauty. I think footy's a real healthy state at the moment.
3 very poor sides, but I suppose you have that, Sellers, don't you, when you have new teams in the competition? But, of course, Gold Coast not being one of those. But you're always going to have teams that are going to struggle.
Well, yeah, that's why you have a ladder. Someone's got to be on the bottom, Dan. And so, look, it's unfortunate, but you've got to fight yourself off there, find a way to get out of there. And have these clubs got the ability to do so? It's a difficult one because you've got 2 emerging clubs in the Gold Coast and Sydney who are taking most of the quality draft choices, and they've still got another run at it this year, so it makes it difficult when you bottom out at the wrong time.
If you bottom, this is the worst time if you're bottoming out, because GWS are going to have they're going to get more picks this year. I'm not sure how many, but their quality of first round draft picks are quality.
Let's go to our first talkback caller. Eddie from Melbourne on Grandstand AFL. Eddie, great to have your company. Welcome to the program.
Hi, fellas. How are you? Brilliant call tonight.
Thanks, Eddie.
I listening to the boys earlier today about the bump, and especially the one with Kelly last week. I reckon it was just a good fair bump because Christensen was just running away with the ball, and I just thought he was running in to shepherd him. And as far as all the replays I saw, he never actually hit him in the face. But just caught his hand. That was what actually caught him in the face, not the actual shoulder. I thought it was shoulder on shoulder. And to me, it was just a fair bump, in play, close to the ball, as Christensen turned away to run towards goal.
There was a lack of awareness, Eddie, from Brendan Goddard. He didn't seem to know that Kelly was in the vicinity, and he was a little bit away from the ball. The problem, I think, gentlemen, we have is that Kelly was off the ground.
I think Kelly anticipated that Goddard was going to get the ball at one stage, and he ironed him out. I still think Lindsay Thomas's one was actually worse.
We see 3 to 4 bumps a week are exactly the same, and some get pinged and some don't. So you take your luck if you want to do that sort of stuff.
I think the one tonight will be looked at and might be penalised himself.
Let's get down to the Collingwood rooms again, and Sam Dwyer has finished the team meeting, and Josh has got him once again.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, Sam, you just had a couple of meetings there. You had a players-only meeting, and then the coaches joined in and had a bit of a meeting with them as well. What was said?
We just went through, we reinforced what we wanted to achieve throughout the game, and knew that we did that for 3 quarters, so we just identified that and just said that, there's still that 1 quarter that we can improve on, and just to stick to our guns and keep pushing hard.
I'll throw you upstairs, Mark McClure and Lindsay Gilbey.
Well done, Sam. Lindsay Gilbey, mate, fantastic game tonight. I've got a couple for you. So you've played at Port Melbourne probably 6 or 7 years and been a really good player at that level. Now you come out, played in a couple of hundred people per week. Now you playing in front of 66,000. What's it like to play for Collingwood?
It's an amazing feeling, running out there and hearing the roar of the crowd. I'm pinching myself every week.
And just another one, mate. Just how have you, by looking up here, you've adapted to the level really well. What's come as a surprise to you? Is it the pace of the game? Is it the intensity? Is it the amount of training that you do?
I think the intensity is the biggest step. Obviously, the pace of the game is a lot quicker as well. But all the boys have really helped me out with that, trying to give me as much information. And obviously the training loads helps as well, so you sort of get your fitness base up a lot higher, which helps you run out games.
Sammy, very different performance to what you put up the last couple of weeks here tonight. How did you do it?
I just think that we set ourselves just to keep the game plan a lot simpler this week. We set ourselves a couple of key focuses that we wanted to achieve, and everyone sort of went in there with the same mindset, and we really fought hard to achieve that, and for 3 quarters we did, which is a lot better than the previous couple of weeks.
Your first half was outstanding. What was it like when they were just steaming over the top of you in the third?
Yeah, obviously when teams get a run on, it's hard to stop, but we knew that if we stuck to our guns and kept fighting hard, that we'd really be able to stem the flow, and fought back hard in that last quarter and managed to run over them a little bit.
Gutsy, wasn't it? It was fantastic.
Yeah, certainly was. Boys did really well.
When you were playing in the VFL, who did you follow in the AFL?
I sort of didn't really follow anyone for the last sort of 5 years, just because I guess you're playing against so many of the other teams, you sort of end up having that rivalry with them. But growing up, I followed Richmond.
And I wonder you didn't follow anyone for the last 5 years.
Yeah, well, that's a good point too.
Good one to drop off.
And Sam, with all those young kids, everyone sort of played their role tonight. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Buck's got the young boys in before the team meeting before the game, and sort of, they had a lot of young kids in as well, and we wanted to really show that the youth of Collingwood is up there with the best of the competition.
Are you considered a young boy?
I think I am, yeah, so I'm happy to take it.
Sammy, who do you follow at training? Who's the one who trains the best and trains the hardest that you want to follow?
I think Steele Sidebottom really pushes hard. Pendle's obviously, Swanee's a hard trainer. Harry O'Brien, there's sort of a lot of boys there. Blairy, Caff, a lot of boys really work hard on the track, so there's a lot of boys to try and emulate there.
And you've still got a few to come back, Sam. Big match next week against the Swans, so no doubt an opportunity to try and take advantage of what you achieved tonight.
Yeah, another big match, so we'll just keep trying to focus on the simple things and get our structures and everything right, and hopefully get another win.
Spoken like a true AFL footballer, Sam.
Thank you.
What was it like having Luke Ball back out there after the hardships he's been through?
Yeah, it was great for Bally, obviously, to be out there, and it really gave all the boys a lift. So he's been working tremendously hard out on the track, and obviously had a couple of weeks in the VFL, and hasn't really missed a beat since he's come back.
And Marley Williams got a chance after a bit of an off-season where he played up a bit back at home in Albany. It was good for him to get a game.
Yeah, it was. He's been playing really well in the VFL and really deserved his chance, and stuck to his guns tonight and did really well, which was good.
Well done, Sam. Congratulations on a great performance by the team and yourself. You certainly look like you belong at this level and you deserve your opportunity. You've done well. Good luck next week for the rest of the season. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Sam Dwyer down in the Collingwood rooms, 27 possessions and 3 goals. The Pies came from behind at 3/4 time after leading in the first half to beat their opponents Geelong by a goal, 15-12 102 to 14-12 96. A draw at the SCG. Close game, tight game all night, although Sydney was out by 21. Fremantle stormed home, had a chance to win it, but the Michael Johnson kick dropped short and Sam Reid took the mark, and it was Freo 9-16-70, Sydney 11-4-70. And in the NRL, Penrith beat New Zealand 62 points to 6. The Roosters too good for the Cowboys, 12 points to 8. And the Waratahs over the Brumbies by 28 to 22 in the Super Rugby Union. 1300 222 774 is our talkback number. And Ken from South Yarra has joined us. Welcome, Ken.
Thanks, fellas. I'm an Essendon supporter, so I watched the Bombers today. I'm just wondering how much a game like the one Essendon played against Geelong takes out on both teams. The Dons look flat. They just, I thought they were measuring themselves in the game, but really they didn't have a lot to go with. And then I thought Geelong tonight in their first half were almost the same. They were flat. They couldn't go on. And it seems to me these big games can take an awful lot out of teams when they have to front up next week against a good side, as Geelong did today, that maybe it's too hard for them.
Well, 8 days is a long way to actually recover if you think about it, Friday through to Saturday. It gives you enough time to recover for a player. It might be a mental thing, I'm not sure, but I think 8 days gives you plenty of time to do what you've got to do, tick the boxes that need to be ticked, and there's no correlation, but it was both teams were flat today, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about their recovery, especially early this week.
I reckon the Bombers had a bad week in interviews. That might have affected them, I reckon. The realisation that maybe the truth's coming out.
Do you think it's all caving in?
Well, I don't know. Well, no one knows. How would you know?
As a player, you would have to be worried about that situation. You can't not be worried about it. Your livelihood's at stake. This is something that you want to do for a job. You're very fortunate to do for a job, and that can be taken away just in a second, and you'd be just shattered if that was you.
Well, we've got to fight back next week, the Doms, and the Cats do as well. So we'll see what happens. But good calls. Thanks very much for that, Ken. Steve from Mill Park joins us now. Welcome, Steve.
Boys, how are you?
We're well, Steve.
That's the way. A couple of quick points. I'll declare my allegiance right from the top. I'm a Geelong supporter. And we heard quite a bit in the lead-up about Collingwood's injuries and lack of personnel. But if you take Stevie J, James Kelly, Taylor Hunt, Travis Varco and Paul Chapman out of your side, you're running a bit thin from your best 18. But I'm not making any excuses for the night. Collingwood had a win. And I'm certainly not going to say that the Cats didn't get the rub of the green with the umpires, boys, but I've got to ask you about Andy Cracker's free kick in that last quarter. He got the free kick pretty much near the point post, and he was standing in front of Harry Taylor, in front of him. And please, can someone explain to me how the hell can the umpire allow him to play on? He actually put his arm up in the air to stop time, and then he decided, no, I'll let you go, mate. You're within the goal kicking. I'll let you kick a goal. How does that work, boys? I mean, I've been following footy for 30 years. I can't figure this game out. It changes every week, and that's got me absolutely stuffed.
Well, Stevie, the world's not fair, and unfortunately I think that we saw it too, and we were a bit amazed too. So
you're supposed to get behind the mark.
You're supposed to do that, yes, you are, but we don't adjudicate from here. The umpires do on the ground, and I agree with you. We all agree with you, but we can't stop it. That's the problem, and so... Look, the world's not fair, mate. You've won a lot of good games. And you've been terrific, and you were good again tonight. Just, that was an unusual one.
Thanks very much for your call, Steve. Peter from Mount Eliza. Evening, Peter.
Yes, look, I'm a Collingwood backer, and I looked at the team today, and I thought it was about, due to injuries, it was about the poorest team that Collingwood has fielded this year. And in my tipping competition, I picked Geelong. The other thing I would comment on was that it was the first time this year that Collingwood, who were quite behind, playing against a top-class team, and actually came back in the last quarter. And I almost started to feel a little better about our team.